Yeah,
and the car that was
it's
approaching it
crazy.
it actually hopped over that crack in the concrete.
Wow.
Man, like I didn't think we would feel this extreme heat
Yeah,
until August.
facts. Yeah, I mean that means summer gonna be a swelter because you're already getting a heat wave in June.
Yeah,
You know, I'm ready for it though.
yeah. I always tell myself like it's going to be 3 months, I
Uh,
guess, and then come fall it's going to be it's going to be in the 60s.
like, yeah, man. What up, Christian? Sam, what up? CD Galore, what up? Salute to y'all, man. I know you
Hey,
couldn't
you
wait.
watching?
Huh?
Are you watching the NBA draft?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Like I was saying, like they got some good plays this year. Uh, Cooper Flag goes to Dallas. We all knew that was gonna happen. You know, you got Con Canuple. He's going to the Hornets. I think he played with Cooper Flag on Duke. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
you got Ace Bailey. He's going to the Jazz. I don't know what the Jazz are doing. To be honest, I don't really know what the direction they're going in. But he's gonna be there. You got Dylan Harper. That's Ron Harper's son. He's going to San Antonio, and that's a good look. San Antonio got a lot of guards right now. They got Dylan Harper. They got Stephen Castle. They got you got De'Aaron Fox. You got Devin Hassel. They got a lot of guards on that team. Somebody got to go.
Man, you know what my question is?
Uh,
How is it that San Antonio Spurs always have the top draft picks?
that's good. That's good, man. That's good front office. The front office is behind that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, you win for a certain amount of time, and then, there's gonna be times when they're not as high as other years, and they build they know how to develop their young players. That's what I've always liked about San Antonio. Even back when they drafted Tim Duncan, like they knew how to develop him. You already had David Robinson like on his way out, and they knew Tim Duncan was gonna take over at some point, and this is why that franchise has championships.
I mean, yeah, I mean they drafted Wimbiana with the number one draft pick a few years ago,
Hmm.
and it's like once again they picked top three.
Yeah.
It's like in a few years, they're going to have another dynasty.
They definitely know how to develop their young plays, and that's a nice little nucleus right there with Wemby, and you got Stephen Castle, and you got Dylan Harper coming on now. You know, they 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 won piece. So I believe they won piece. I think they need that big piece. They need a Giannis on that team. If they could get Giannis, if he wants to go there, that team gonna be serious. You know,
But according to uh,
what you mean?
but but yeah, like if they can get Giannis and pair him with
Yeah.
Wimbiana, I mean, holy holy shit, man.
If they can get him, and that's if he wants to go there. You know what I'm saying? If he wants to go there and play with Wemby and that young nucleus and feel like they could win, they're gonna be a problem out west. I know everybody's talking about the Rockets and Durant. To me, I don't think KD's gonna be a factor with the Rockets. I don't think he's the same type of player. And they basically going off of the name at this point. It's like the name and what he used to do. But in reality, he can't be the main guy on that team anymore. He has to be like a piece. And the main guy that they had, they traded away to Phoenix. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Because I thought it was gonna be them bringing in Durant to play alongside Jalen Green, not trading away Jalen Green to Phoenix. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
So it's
Jalen,
like,
like Jalen Green
hmm?
has been in the league for 4 years now. He was
Yeah.
drafted in he was drafted in 2021.
Hmm. But
Like
he was their future face of that team. Like he was the one that was the main guy that was getting 30, 40 points. He wasn't consistent though, but I think that would have changed if they had gotten KD. But you, how do you trade the face of the franchise for KD? KD is an aging superstar at this point.
I mean, they like from what I understand, the Houston Rockets gave the Phoenix Suns second 5 second round draft picks.
They gave up too much to me for KD. You gave up your best defender. Dylan Brooks also is in that deal. They gave up six. They gave up a 2025 10th pick and five future draft picks. You gave up all that for an aging superstar. And KD is not the same player that he once was when he was in OKC and Golden State.
I mean, the Houston Rockets pretty much, you know, gave away the farm, and
Yeah,
gave away all of their crops.
they did.
You know, you know, they gave everything away but the key.
They did. I just felt like they're not beating OKC. I think OKC is still a better team than them, even with the rain on that on Houston. You know, I don't even think they're better than Minnesota. I think Minnesota right now is better than them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and now you got San Antonio make with their young core of players. Where does Houston fit in the Western Conference? Because I'm like, I don't see how KD at his age is going to take them to the finals.
I think um, Kevin Durant, he's at the stage in his career. Like, remember when Charles Barkley went to the Rockets along with Scottie Pippen?
Hmm.
Like, he's at that stage in his career where he can no longer average 30 points per game, and he can play defense like he
Hmm.
did, and the games that he's going to play is going to be
Right.
far less. It's going to be somewhere in the 60 to 70 games range.
I mean, he can still get you buckets, but to trade away that much for an aging superstar at his age, and he can't be the main guy anymore. Like I just felt like they gave away too much. It's one thing if you give up some draft picks, I can understand that, but to give up the face of your franchise with Jalen Green, and you give up your best defender with Dylan Brooks, I just think they gave up way too much for KD, and they're not going to beat OKC.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that is exactly why I didn't want the Knicks to go after him, because what Phoenix wanted, they would have had our team high and dry. We would have to give up half of our damn team for KD. What would be the point in that? You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
why I'm glad the Knicks didn't go after him. I'm like, we wanted KD over here like 8 years ago. We don't want you now.
yeah, like that's uh, like it's like getting a car. It's like when you if when the asking price, like when you sell a car, like you get close to your asking price, the closer it is that you bought it. Like if you bought the car, you know,
We Triple T salute. We remember when we had to when we made the trade with Denver to get Melo over here. We had to give up half our team. We gave up Wilson Chandler in that deal, Danilo Gallinari, Raymond Felton. We gave up half of our team, and we had to like rebuild our team around Melo. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, if we had that team and if we had stayed put with that, with who we had, and then just went after Melo during, during free agency, we would have been good.
Can you explain to me why the Brooklyn Nets have four picks in the top 30?
They making moves. I know they and for them to be making this many moves means they have to be going after Giannis. I would have to think they're going after Giannis or Jalen Brown from Boston. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Because
they got picks 8, they got
yeah,
picks 19, and they're picking 26 and 27.
they got a lot of picks. But they are in a rebuilding mode. But uh, if I'm a organization that wants to make a big splash and land a player like Jalen Brown or Giannis, I'm looking to collect all the picks as possible so that I can trade my picks to that team for one of those superstar players. So that's what I believe they're gonna do. I don't know if they're gonna do
Mm-hmm.
that, but for them to be getting these many draft picks means they have to be planning on trying to get Jalen Brown or Giannis.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Like
Like
they may not keep the picks,
right.
but they just like those picks are assets.
Yeah, because they're talking about also a report came out today that they're trying to trade for RJ Barrett from Toronto. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying?
yeah,
So if you could get maybe those picks go to Toronto because they also in a rebuilding mode as well. So maybe they use some of the picks and trade for RJ Barrett.
yeah. That I mean that would be pretty savvy of them to do
Yeah,
it.
and you build a young team around him and maybe they keep Cam Thomas. I don't know if D'Angelo Russell is staying with them. But for them to be getting picks, they have to be making a trade for something.
This is a reminder of just how badly the ownership really kowtowed to Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant.
Mhm.
Like they gave
Mhm.
everything to those
Exactly.
guys.
Exactly. That's another reason why I didn't want the Knicks to go after Durant because every team that he's been on, except for Golden State, he ruined their team. When he went to Brooklyn, him and Kyrie was basically calling the shots over there. They didn't give a damn about Steve Nash. Poor Steve Nash, his first coaching gig ever, and they ran him out of town. And they were the ones calling the shots, talking about, oh, well, we don't need no coach. And you see what happened with that team. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals and lost to Milwaukee.
They
You know what I'm
got
saying?
swept.
Yeah, but they got, you know what I'm saying? And then I think the following year they got beat. They got beat by Boston or whatever, but they were calling the shots on with that team. And the ownership let them do it. Yeah, and they gave up a shitload of players. You know what I'm saying? And he goes to Phoenix and look what happened with Phoenix. Same thing. And then they end up getting Bradley Beal was never a superstar to me in the first place. Like he was a good scorer for the Wizards, but it was the Wizards. The Wizards suck. They've been bad for forever. You know what I'm saying? And for them to make a big thing about getting Bradley Beal, he didn't do a damn thing with Phoenix. Now they can't even get rid of him.
I think there's certain teams where careers go to die, like the Wizards, the Atlanta Hawks, like
Yeah,
that. Those franchises are just bottom of the basement. Like you,
and the thing is though, the Hawks
yeah,
got the Hawks got good talent. It's just that moniker, they never been able to shake that moniker of if you get traded to the Hawks, it's like basically going to Siberia.
facts.
You know what I'm saying? Even back when they had Jason Terry, when Jason Terry got traded there from the Mavs and he went there and it was like, oh, he on a you on the worst team ever in the league. You know what I'm saying? And they have developed their young talent over the years. They had some pretty good plays out of Atlanta. It's just that they I don't know what the ownership is. They can't stay consistent. They go through ups and downs, and it's like I don't think no player want to be on a with a franchise that go through ups and downs like that. Like like when you go to Boston, when you go to San Antonio, when you go to Miami, like the ownership there is always trying to win. They're not trying to go through the draft, year in and year out. And if they go through the draft, they're trying to get the highest picks ever.
Yeah, and also like there's also steady uh there's stability with general managers.
Right.
Like to me, when you have a head of basketball operations, like they have to know how to scout, they have to know how to stay ahead of a curve, and it seems like the Hawks, the Wizards, they're always behind uh, the curve, like they're always playing catch up.
Yeah, facts, definitely. So it's yeah. So that I think that's what's happening with Atlanta. Is like there's uncertainty, and is are they going to keep Trey Young? Is he going to leave? They just got what's his name Porzingis last night through a trade with Boston, and they're not. I don't know what's going on with Porzingis' health or whatever. He wasn't healthy in the playoffs, and the fact that Atlanta traded for him, maybe they know something that we don't. Maybe they feel like his health is not that serious that what the media is making it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
But even with him, he hasn't been the same player really since his that injury he had with the Knicks. He wasn't the same player, and he's been pretty good when he came back, but he's not healthy all the time. That's the problem. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what Atlanta gonna do. But yeah, like, it's just like I don't see Houston. I don't see KD making a difference with Houston. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? I think he's gonna get his points, and they'll hover around maybe 2 or 3, depending on what Denver does and Minnesota. And Dallas is gonna be a factor now. They got Cooper Flag, and they're expecting a big rookie season from him. So who knows where the Rockets end up?
Yeah, I could see like the Rockets like being somewhere around a 10 or 11.
10 or
I mean,
11? No, I don't think they'll be that far down. I think they'll be in the top 5 at least. Like see they finished second, you know what I'm saying? And that was without Durant, but they don't have Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks. They got Durant and the younger players. Can Durant come into that team and be more of a mentor and not have that mentality of, oh well, I'm a 2-time champion and this is my team? Because if he comes in with that mindset, they're not gonna beat OKC. If he comes in with a mindset of being a mentor to the young players like Jabari Smith and Van Fleet, even though Van Fleet got a ring with Toronto and was it Amen Thompson? Is it him, the other brother that plays for the Rockets? If he comes in with a mentor mentality,
oh, Amen Thompson.
Amen Thompson, yeah. If he comes in with that type of mentality, then they could do some special things. But if he comes in thinking that, oh well, this is my team and I'm the main guy, I don't see them beating OKC. I don't think they're gonna beat them. I don't think they're gonna beat Minnesota. Depending on if Cooper Flag is really that guy and him and AD, and maybe they get Kyrie back. If you got Dallas there, you got Denver. They're gonna retool. Where was the Rockets gonna be at?
Well, Kevin Durant, he doesn't strike me as somebody that wants to take on leadership.
That
He's
and that's why I say it's like he's not that. He's never been that type of player, except for maybe when he was in OKC with Westbrook, and then they were button heads. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at it after he
but
leaves
also if you
OKC,
think, but also if you look back then, the ownership and management, they always had KD's back, so he never had to be vocal. He never had to stand up for himself.
right? But you
Like
you were
the media was riding
the,
for
the
KD.
thing I've always never understood about KD. KD has rabbit ears. He cares too much about what people on the internet is saying about him. You were a 2-time champion. Why the hell are you making burner accounts and going at people on Twitter? That makes no damn sense. You think LeBron would do that? And after the LeBron already know the hate that he gets. You think LeBron would make a burner account and go after people on social media?
I saw that. And I haven't heard his name in eons, but
Mhm.
Lil B said something slick about Kevin Durant, and I'm sure Kevin Durant he's going to, use a fake account to defend himself.
It's like why would you care about what people got to say? These are people that are trolls that have no profile pic, that got nothing going on good in their lives, and you want to go after people online. This is a two-time champion MVP Finals player, and you worried about what people got to say about you. So that already shows me that you don't have that leadership mentality to begin with to lead a team because you're so worried about what people gonna say about you online.
But the younger players they have more maturity than he does.
Exactly. When he went to Golden State, it's Steph Curry's team. That's the real reason why he didn't want to stay here because it's not all about him. It's about Steph. You know what I'm saying? Even when Golden State tried to make a trade to get him back on that team, he said, "Nah, I'm good." Because it's not all about him. No, it's about Steph. That's always gonna be Steph Curry's team, no matter who gets there, whether it's Jimmy Butler or Clay, Draymond, whoever. It's always gonna be Steph Curry's team, and I feel like that's
But
part of the reason why KD ain't want to stay with Golden State because it's not all about him.
but the thing I didn't understand about Kevin Durant's rationale was that Steph Curry is beloved. Like Steph Curry is he's the Bay Area's favorite son.
Right.
Like he was drafted by the Golden State Warriors. They saw him develop. They saw him, grow, from uh, that skinny kid from Davidson to now
Exactly.
having a full beard and
Hmm.
being cocky and shooting from half court
Right.
and lead in pretty much leading that uh, community in terms of stature. And another thing, the Golden State Warriors, they won another title without
Without
Kevin
Durant.
Durant.
Exactly. And they were winning titles before he got there.
Yeah,
He was just like their secret weapon. Like, okay, we got Steph, we got Clay, we got Iguodala, we got Dre, and look, we got our secret weapon KD if we need to use him. That's what that was about. But I feel like he wasn't going to stay because it's not all about him. He wants to be on a team where it's all about him. That's why he came to Brooklyn because it was all about him. And he told the Knicks like yo, if you want me, you gotta get Kyrie, and that's why they didn't get them. And I still don't understand why Kyrie is still one of the best point guards in the league. Still don't know why you wouldn't want to get both KD and Kyrie, but that's 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 already in the past. But he wanted to go to the team where it's all about him. That's why he
yeah.
went to Houston because and that's why he went to Houston. Houston had the best deal for Phoenix, and he went there. Now it's all about him. But he can't go into Phoenix. He can't go into Houston with that mentality because that's a young player. They need that veteran leadership, and he has to be looking at it like yo, like I got to lead these young troops into battle because he's been there before. He knows how to win. They don't. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? So it's like if he goes in there with that mental mentality, they could do special things. If he goes in there thinking it's all about him, they're gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? Even with KD, I still don't think they beating OKC. I think that's the best team in the Western Conference. I don't see them beating Minnesota. I think depending on what Dallas do, they might not beat them. Denver is gonna be right there. San Antonio is coming up now. So they might finish 5 or 6. You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah,
this was KD from like 8 years ago to 8, 10 years ago, I'd be like, yeah, they could definitely beat OKC. Wouldn't that be like a great storyline? Him facing his former team in the Western Conference Finals to go to the finals. That would be a great storyline. But
I mean that would be a media
yeah,
bonanza.
oh yeah, you know what I'm saying. But at his age, I don't see them beating OKC. I think they might need another piece. They might need another piece. They might need to trade one of their other young players for another veteran. You know, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. You know, a lot of trades been going on, yo. There's rumors about RJ Barrett getting traded and Jalen Brown. I do believe Boston is going to trade either Jalen Brown or Derek White, just so that they can get the money off their books. Because they're trying to get under the apron, and both Brown and Tatum's contract are like that's like $600 million right there. You know what I'm saying? But I
Mhm.
have a feeling Jalen Brown is going to get traded. I don't know to what team, but I just feel like they're gonna trade him. And by the time Tatum come back, he's gonna have a whole new team around him.
Yeah, it seems like Boston is trying to get ahead of the luxury tax
Mhm.
for next year, so they're just clearing cap space.
Yeah, they might trade both. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna trade both. I do see one of them going though. If I know Derek White would be a great bench player for my team. For that, we definitely needed his shooting, on off the bench. But I really believe that they might keep Derek White and trade Jalen because I don't feel like he's that dude to. He already showed it. Like once Tatum went down, he couldn't lead them to no victory. So it's like, is he really that guy that people feel like he could carry that team until Tatum comes back?
And uh, and from a social perspective, it seems like Jalen Brown, like what he represents. I think uh, the white people, like the white fans,
Uh,
they wouldn't mind him going because he's
yeah,
talking about you know resurrecting Black Wall Street, black economics,
right.
and what he talks about. It runs counter. Uh, it runs counter to the ethos of white conservative
Right.
fans from the suburbs.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I have a feeling they're going to trade him. You know what I mean? And just keep the Tatum's contract on the books. And and
Oh,
and mm,
and since it's draft night,
yeah,
what's the update on the coaching search for the Knicks?
they're talking to some assistant coach from I think it was Minnesota or something. I don't even know the guy. I never saw the guy. I want somebody here that's established. I don't want no assistant coach that's never been a full time coach and hasn't been to the finals. We need a veteran coach that's been there, that's experienced it, that knows how to win. And I don't know what the hell they doing. I have no idea who they going after. There's rumors saying that the Jason Kidd thing is not over yet. That he's still interested in coming here. I don't know how they're gonna do that. They might have to trade for him. 'Cause he's under contract with the Mavs, and now that the Mavs got Cooper Flag, maybe they give him an extension. I don't know. You know what I mean? And I don't know what they're doing. I don't even think they know what they're doing. You know, I know we need I would like a veteran coach here that knows how to win.
The Knicks have a window, but they at least have a window for one more year.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but they people say the East is wide open. To me, the Knicks is the favorites next year, but we know the trade is going to be right there. We know that Miami's going to retool at some point. They're going to make some moves, and you got what happens with Milwaukee? What happens with Boston? It's a very different team. Boston trade. It looked like Boston trading away all their players. You know, uh, Indiana. What's gonna happen with them? You know what I'm saying? Philly. What's gonna happen with them? So
Yo, that
mhm.
uh con the white boy that came off the bench for the Pacers. I think is it Connor is a Connell.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's going to get a large contract.
He's a good player. I want again. I would like for him to be on our team coming off the bench. That I think him and Brunson would be a great backcourt. That's the type of guard that we
He's a
need. That
quintessential point guard.
yeah, that's the type of guy we need that could get buckets and he gave us some problems in that series. You
Mhm.
know, but it's like yeah, what's gonna happen with them and so but while we have this window of opportunity, we got to make the most of it and they got to get a coach here.
Yeah, when I was watching the finals, like that, he was like the white Vinny Johnson.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
but the microwave, right? The microwave would come off the bench and get you buckets.
yeah, like that was the first thing I was thinking of. Like, man, because like the way like the way he would just lead a fast break, and he would already be in the paint, and he would create his own shots in at weird angles.
Right.
It was like no matter who he was in the trees with, he found a way to get buckets.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, man,
Vinny Johnson is one of the best bench players ever.
number
I
15,
remember those finals with them against the Lakers.
mm-hmm. Number
Crazy,
15.
man. You know, they had a great team back then, and they needed his scoring off the bench. So when you think of like best six mans ever, he got to be on that list.
Absolutely.
You know, Lou Williams, he's another one that used to come off the bench, and he was great off of any team he was on, whether it was Philly or Atlanta. He's been on so many different teams.
Man, like sometimes, man, like I'll go on YouTube and I'll just look at documentaries about the Bad Boy Pistons, and I'll
Hmm.
just like like sometimes I'll will go back and look at individual games
Right,
just because uh, I'm happy I'm happy for the Pistons resurgence, but maybe it's nostalgia, but there's so many games where I'll look at certain games from the 87,
mhm,
88, and 89 season,
right.
and Vinny Johnson was cooking.
What
And
was
it's
my
like
somebody?
mhm.
No, go ahead. My bad.
It just makes me it just makes me uh, wish that I wish we had something like that on our current squad.
Right. Sam asked me, "What was my first Knicks game? The first Knicks game I ever went to. I want to say that was the time when we had Stephon Marbury here. Uh, I got to check because I still got saved the ticket stubs, but it was during the time we had Stephon Marbury.
That
So
must
that
have
was
been like around the late
like
'90s.
04, 04, 05 we got him.
Mm.
Yeah, cause when we got Stephon Marbury, like we played the Nets when they were still in Jersey. We played the Nets and got swept in the first round of the playoffs. But they just had the Nets. They went on to the finals and they played the Lakers and they lost to the Lakers. But Nets had a great team back then. But I want to say that was like what 04, 05?
Yeah, one of my favorite New York Knicks teams
Mhm.
when they had Latrell Sprewell.
Oh
And
yeah, I mean Houston.
Latrell Sprewell, he had a few seasons where he was cooking,
Oh yeah, for sure.
and like even after the whole uh, the incident with
Yeah, PJ Carlissimo.
yeah,
Yeah,
like even then, like he found like he didn't skip a beat,
right.
but
Oh yeah, he
I
was
think it
cooking
was
on that Golden State team was trash, but he was cooking.
like like I think like the tide started to turn on him when he said the infamous quote like,
Yeah,
"How can I feed my kids on $10 million a year?"
right.
And I felt like he like the public
Yeah.
support had turned on him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think he got offered like what 20 million from Milwaukee or something like that or Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't forget. I forgot the team that was giving
Yeah,
that made the offer,
How can you survive off of 20 million? What? You be set for life.
yeah.
That's crazy.
See, that's something that you say amongst other rich people,
Right.
but
Exactly.
expecting people, expecting the buying base who have 9 to 5s to understand that
Yeah.
they're not.
You know what I mean? Like 20 million, you set the regular person will be set for life off of that.
Yeah,
You don't need like the most expensive house or car.
yeah. When he said that, like that was the NBA equivalent to what B. Simone said the
Yeah.
other
And right after he said that, that's when he played himself right out of the league.
day. Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Of like, cause you're complaining about 20 million, 20 million. Meanwhile, there's like homeless people all over the damn country.
Yeah, like 20, and also at that time, 20 million was probably the uh, the most money a player could command.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, not even Shaq commanded that much money.
And look at the deal that Kyrie Irving just got. He got a 3-year extension with Dallas for 119 million, and there's people complaining that it was too low. Like what?
Yeah,
119 million, and that's too low. What should he get? Like 300 million?
yeah, and that just shows you just how far we've came
Yeah.
since what 2000. Because we because if 120 million is low, then it makes you wonder.
Ridiculous.
I mean, what is fair?
That's ridiculous. Like give me 119 million. I'll set aside 50 million for myself, and I'll give the rest to charity and to different funds and all that. There's too many homeless people out there in this world that should be under a roof right now. Sitting under a cool AC, and they can't get that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and we bitching about $119 million contract.
There's certain uh, occupations, that deserve to get, you know, half of that much money as school teachers, construction workers, like especially people that work in uh, scaffolding,
Right.
like I like those kind of occupations where either you are woefully overworked and underpaid.
Oh yeah.
Those kind of people, they damn near working for free.
Facts. I like these questions saying Bernard King or Patrick Ewing. Well, I gotta go with Pat because that was the era that I became a Knicks fan in '85. I've only seen clips of Bernard King as a Knick. Matter of fact, the Bernard King that I grew up watching, he was already a Washington Bullet. He was already on the Bullets at that point, so he was like a shell of himself when he was on the Bullets. But Patrick Ewing, to me, is the greatest Knick ever. He had a winning pedigree that he brought to the city and to the Knicks, and we still have not had a center like him since then. So Cat, I love Cat. Cat is a good player, but he ain't no Patrick Ewing.
Quick question.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, who would win between the the Knicks of the mid '90s or this current Knicks squad?
Oh, the '90s Knicks, because we like when see and the game was so different back then. You know what I'm saying? It was more about defense, whereas the game now is more about scoring. You know, you can't put your hand on to guard the player like back then. You know, we didn't have no social media. The mentality was just different. Like you had plays that couldn't stand each other, like Magic and Bird. Whenever they played against each other, yeah, they were friends off the court, but when they were on the court, they couldn't stand each other, and the teams couldn't stand each other. That was a true rivalry. We don't have rivalries anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody is buddy buddy. on social media. Everybody is at the next person's wedding, or they going on vacation with each other. You know what I mean? They didn't do that back then. Michael Jordan looked at everybody as you're beneath me. I'm the best player in the world. I'm the best player in the league, and I'm gonna beat all of y'all. And that's what he did. And that's why we players hated him. You know what I'm saying? And to imagine LeBron playing back then, right? And LeBron is playing the Knicks with whatever team he's on, and he's trying to go down the lane for a dunk. Oakley would have clobbered him. There's no way you thought you was gonna dunk on Ewing or Oakley, nah, or Mason. They would have gave him an elbow, and they would have took that penalty, because the NBA was gonna find them anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that would have never went on. You know what I'm saying? Like Jordan got away with it because it was Jordan, but everybody else, nah, you was not dunking on our players, not at the Garden. You know what I'm saying? And we just had a roughneck, hardcore way of playing basketball when it came to defense. And I love the team that we have, but we don't have no Charles Oakley on our team. There's no Charles Oakley on our team. There's no Patrick Ewing or Anthony Mason. And people can say what they want about Draymond Green. Draymond Green reminds me of old school basketball. He has that old school mentality, and you could tell he grew up watching old school basketball. But people can't stand him. I'm like, yeah, y'all can't stand him because y'all like the way the rules are set now. It's set comfortable for the scorers. James Harden could have the points that a lot of these plays like James Harden put up. He could never do that back in the day. You know what I'm saying? He could never do that back in the day. Is the rules are set up more for the scoring. That's why you see all these people come out of nowhere and they averaging double doubles and triple doubles a night because that's how the rules are set up for them. You
Yeah.
know,
If especially if they were playing by 90s uh, officiating, man, like Oakley, Mason,
yeah,
they would be sending cat somebody as big as Cat into the fifth row.
oh yeah, and yeah, that's another thing. It was like the big man actually played down low in the post. There was no having your big man shoot the three. Yeah, like there was some that had a jump shot out. Elijah Wan had a jump shot. Patrick Ewing had a jump shot. But taking threes, they wasn't doing that all the time. Their bread and butter was down low with their back to the basket. These big men now, they taking threes like they Steph Curry. And that's part of it's like if you're a 7-footer, it's like that has to be part of your game now. You gotta have a 3-point shot or a mid-range shot. Because if you don't have that in your arsenal, they're not even trying to have you on their team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like that is the reason why when I'm looking at the playoffs and I'm looking at Cat and I'm like screaming at the damn screen, like, Cat, get in the paint. If your three is not falling, get in the paint and get your buckets. Go to the foul line. Create some foul shots for yourself. And it was like he was doing that once in the blue, and like you should have been doing that, should have been always part of your game. And he got too comfortable shooting three in Minnesota. They gave him the green light all the time. He didn't have that coach to tell him like, yo, I want you down low in the post with your back to the basket. Because he can do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he don't do it often because plays like him, they get comfortable shooting the three. And Embiid and Jokic, they're like the only ones that they can go to the basket when they need to, and they can shoot the three. They don't rely on one or the other because they have a balanced offensive game. Cat is not like that. You know what I'm saying? And he can give you buckets, but it's mostly from the 3-point line, and I don't like that. He needs to be in the paint because if he
Yeah.
would, I feel like if he was doing that more, maybe that series would have turned out differently with Indiana.
I think like the stretch for the NBA, it has certainly made centers less physically imposing and
Mm-hmm.
intimidating,
Mm-hmm.
for opposing players when they go in
Exactly.
the lane. Because number one, a lot of a lot of centers they don't want to, have to defend the paint like they want to drift
Exactly.
where the guards are.
If you think about it, Shaq and Dwight Howard were like the last intimidating big men of the league because they didn't have no jump shot.
Yeah,
Shaq wasn't shooting three. Shaq could barely shoot a free throw. He wasn't shooting no damn three. His game was down low in the post. Same
and
with
it
Dwight
was
Howard.
and it wasn't until later in his career where he even managed to shoot like a 10-footer
Right.
jump shot with regularity.
Right, exactly. And I used to hear stories about when Stan Van Gundy was the Orlando Magic's coach and how he told Dwight Howard, "I don't want you shooting no three. I want my center in the post." Because they said he like Dwight used to like practice shooting threes before the game. You never saw him take no damn 3-pointer though. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? That was the last two intimidating big men that we had. They don't have that no more. Everybody is behind the 3-point line like they Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And that's another part of the game that's very different from back in the 90s.
and
You know?
also like if you look at Dwight Howard's, uh, like the knock on Dwight Howard was sometimes he laughed too much, or he didn't, or
Yeah,
he would be too silly.
right.
But Shaq was the same way.
He
It
was the
was just
same
that
way.
Shaq was a champion.
Exactly. Shaq was the same way. There's many times when him and Dennis Scott and Penny would be laughing, joking on the bus and team bus and all that, and he was doing all kind of stuff. He was doing movies while he was playing ball. He was doing rap albums while he was playing ball. You know what I'm saying? He was like the face of Reebok at that time. Like he was all over the place, and he still managed to win championships. So that whole thing, that whole knock on Dwight, I don't believe that's what it was. I just, hey man, he couldn't beat the Lakers. You couldn't beat Kobe. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And then when he goes to LA, Kobe even challenged him like, yo, he challenged his manhood, and he felt some type of way.
but you know what though? I mean, Kobe did the same thing to Shaq. I mean, Shaq
Exactly.
tells plenty of stories where
Hmm.
Kobe would confront
He challenged him.
Shaq about uh, committing, watching more film,
Right.
or practicing more, or working on his jump shot, working on developing better
Hmm.
offensive moves,
Yeah.
to help the team, uh, in certain situations.
Kobe challenged them, and they remember they had that big fight in practice. They would that shit was all over the news.
Yeah,
You know.
and I think Dwight Howard wasn't used to somebody holding him accountable that way,
Right. Exactly.
because when he was with the Orlando Magic, he was the best player.
He was the man. Yeah. It was him and Jameer Nelson. Jameer Nelson wasn't going to challenge him.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody else on that team was going to challenge him. So he got away with doing what he wanted to do. On the Lakers, it was different because you have Kobe Bryant that was originally came off the bench. He was the first player ever to start an All Star game off the bench. That's never happened before. That's how good he was, and he was so good they had to trade away Eddie Jones to the Hornets so that Kobe could start. And he challenged Shaq, and Shaq got pissed, and they had that huge fight during practice, and I felt that's what made Shaq better. It was like a tug of war, like who I'm the man of the Lakers. I'm the man. You know what I mean? And Shaq left, won a ring with Miami, and Kobe said, "Well, I'm gonna win a ring without you," and that's what he did. And they had to get Lamar Odom and Pau Gasol and Ron Artest, and that's why Kobe and Shaq is the GOAT. You know what I mean? And there a lot of these. There's nobody holding these big men accountable now for all these shots. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody on who's gonna hold Embiid accountable on the Sixers. Tyrese Maxey. It's not gonna be Paul George. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, I will like I kind of I think Tyrese. Uh, I think where Embiid is like Embiid, he's had an embarrassing lapse of judgment.
Mhm.
Number one, not going to practice, not
Right.
calling, not being available to his teammates,
Mhm.
and I think Maxwell, he's endeared himself to that team
Right.
and the community that he has a little bit of respect and leeway to uh, to uh, be more vocal about Embiid
Right.
because right now, who's more reliable?
It's Maxey right now.
It's Maxi. Like who is going to uh, uh, you know who has more public trust, Maxi or Embiid?
It's Maxey. The thing I will say, Embiid, he he did like he has a lot of injuries, but he will try to play even with those injuries because we've seen it happen already. You know, like him coming back for the first round of the playoffs last year against the Knicks, and he wasn't. You could tell in that series he wasn't 100% healthy. His knee wasn't healthy, and he still managed to play and put up numbers. So he will do that. You know what I mean? And maybe it's not his fault. Like if you're injured, you're injured. But at least he tried to play through his injuries. You know what I'm saying? It's just that they just got a bad break right now. It's like you know, you, for so many years it was trust the process, and now it's like they gotten so close. What do you do? Is the Sixers fans still trusting the process, or do they feel like they need to rebuild around Maxi? Because Paul George is not the answer. They need to trade Paul George anyway. He's not. He's another player that he's aging, and he's not a superstar like people thought he was, and he's a journeyman. He's been on so many different teams now. It's like he hasn't made a difference on none of those teams. So whatever they were building with Paul George, they need to start over because he's not a factor no more. Plays like him and James Harden, he's another one. He's not a factor no more. These are plays that they were out to get money. They've never won anything. It's like why do these teams still continue to sign them? Because they like I wouldn't want none of those players on my team. Paul George would not be a difference maker on the Knicks. Neither would James Harden. You know what I'm
Yo,
saying?
I'm looking at the like NBA draft and Malika Andrews. She said she confused Colin Cowherd for Cedric Cowherd.
That shit is funny.
Yo, man, like this is why so many people be on Malika Andrews'
Mhm.
helmet.
Right. What's my favorite sports documentary? I love the Last Dance about the Chicago Bulls. That documentary was epic. Just watching their rise to winning six championships, and Jordan winning his first three and then retiring after his pops got murdered, and then going into baseball and that didn't work out, and then coming back and winning three more. And I don't think no athlete could do that in this day and age. To leave a sport after you won titles and then come back and win more titles. That's why Jordan was the GOAT, because he was just on a different level than everybody else. And I had a great time watching that, and the behind the scenes stuff that we learned about, and that was an epic ESPN documentary.
Do you think uh, the two titles that the Houston Rockets won in '94 and
In '95.
'95? Do you think those titles are? borrowed the sheen on those titles is kind of uh, what am I trying to say? Like, do you look at those two titles that the Houston Rockets won
Mm.
as true titles?
They're true titles in the sense that they beat the best that was in the East. They had Knicks was in. I still feel like we could have won that '94 series, but the whole focus was on OJ, fleeing from the cops and that whole trial but they beat who was the best in the Eastern Conference at that time. It was the Knicks and then Orlando. You know what I'm saying? And like yeah, like of course if Jordan was there, I think Chicago would have beaten the Rockets too. They could have Jordan could have had like 10 rings if he didn't leave after '98. He could have had 10 rings. They had six. They really could have kept it going. For whatever reason, the Bulls front office felt like they needed to go in a different direction. And I never understood that because they haven't won nothing since '98. But they beat what they had to beat. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't put an asterisk next to OKC because they played Indiana. I mean, Indiana got to the finals. I still feel like my team was better and we should have been there, but Indiana got there and OKC ended up winning. So, you know,
Mm.
a finals victory is a finals victory. You can't put no asterisk next to it.
It was just a thought, just it just I was just thinking like if I mean of course if Jordan had he not retired, he could have
Yeah.
possibly won 8 titles.
Yeah. You could have gotten more, but I still don't understand why you want to tear shit down when it's working in your favor.
Mm.
And that'll never make no sense to me. But you could have won more rings if you wanted to. You know,
Man,
um,
this man, ESPN. Just a quick rant.
yeah,
Like ESPN, like the way they have been insisting on having Stephen A. Smith and Malika Andrews do every event on ESPN is maddening. Is like just force feeding nothing. Man, like I just it's something about Stephen A. Smith lately that I just that just boggles my mind. You know what I mean? Like he has to do everything. Like I don't know. Like I don't even know what I'm saying. I just
mhm,
just watching this coverage just encapsulated what I don't like about ESPN.
right, yeah. They've had some great documentaries over the years. Like I said, like The Last Stand was good. The documentary they had for Felipe Lopez, a college player from St. John's, and him going to the NBA, but he stayed the full 4 years at St. John's when he really should have came out like his junior year and ends up getting injured in the NBA and he didn't become the superstar that we all expected. And I loved his story of how he started playing ball and his Latin background and all that. And it's so many. There was another one I was gonna say that was great. The Red Sox, when the Red Sox came back and they beat the Yankees, even though I can't stand the Red Sox, but like that was an epic comeback because the Yankees had them dead to rights in '04, and they just went on this epic comeback run and go to the World Series and they won and it was crazy. But they had a lot of great documentaries over the years. You know,
So just to make a quick pivot,
yeah.
like what's your thoughts on is it Zoran
Oh,
Mondani?
Zoran Maldani.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about him except for the fact that he likes Mobb Deep and Nas. But it's and I still don't believe that. But supposedly that's what he listens to. But for me to vote for any of these people in office, you got to give me more than just you listen to Mobb Deep and Nas. Like, what are you gonna do for my community? You know what I'm saying? What are you gonna do for the people in the urban areas? Like these people think they could just drop a name drop. Oh well, I listen to Mobb Deep and Nas, so vote for me. No, you got to give me more. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, man. Like that, I feel like all these niggas in office are shiesty. They're untrustworthy. They all got dirt on them. And it's like you don't find out until like they're already in office, and then all the dirt comes out about them. You know, I just I'm really like fed up with politics at this point. You know what I'm saying? Just seeing what happened, and I'm not surprised. Just seeing what happened with the election last year, and it's like don't bitch and complain now. If you was one of them people that voted for Trump, y'all got your wish. Don't bitch and complain now that he's in office. Like people wanting this man in office now.
I find it um, with number one. There's so many things I can say, but the main thing is that there are a lot of people that are now mad that, but there are some people that are wondering where are the black people that are, you know, uh, like why aren't black people at the protests? Like why aren't they resisting Trump?
Um,
Like the time to come together and form a coalition would have been on November was on election night.
right.
Like I'm past, we need to come together as a
Yeah.
nation, and
I didn't vote. I didn't.
and yeah, to me it's like a dollar short and a
Government is
day
gonna
too
put in
late.
office where they. Yeah, I feel like the government is gonna put in office where they feel should be running the country. You know what I'm saying? And that is what it is. That this is why black people don't vote because our vote do not count. And the election day last year showed that. You know what I'm saying? And Trump got to go somewhere or the other. He got to get out of office because the shit that he's doing, he's gonna ruin this country. He's gonna ruin the world.
I never wished for clogged arteries so much in my life.
Hmm.
Like
He,
there's been more than one night where I thought to myself, Lord,
he,
just do us all a favor.
yeah. He
and,
he is going to take this. He is going to take this country to war again with Iran
and the fact that he fought, like I don't understand the rationale how I don't understand the rationale
retaliation. So who
that
knows? Who knows what's gonna happen?
like you launch airstrikes against a nation in Iran, and then a couple days later, you expect that same nation to honor a ceasefire just like that without no reprisal.
Right. Exactly. He got to
Like,
go. It's just I don't. I'm very against the whole kicking out immigrants and sending them back to their country because I feel like if you come from a country where it's poverty stricken or it's a war zone and you want to make a better life for yourself and your family and if America is that place where you feel like you can come over here and make a better life for yourself and your family, why not? We don't own this land. You know what I'm
I,
saying?
yeah, but I feel like that's kind of moot now because those those same communities, they voted for this man in bulk.
Yeah. What? Yeah. What? Those people that voted for him and they getting. kicked out of the country, that's on them. That's what you get. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the people that didn't vote for him, the people that came to America to start a new life, a better life for them and their families. Why should they have to go back? I feel like you should be able to go to any country and make a life. If people want to leave America and go to Jamaica for a better life, or go to Cuba for a better life, why shouldn't they be able to do that? You know what I'm saying? I'm my family's Caribbean. Like my grandparents came over to America from their country. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother came from Grenada to this country. Same with my grandfather to start a better life for their family. So you're basically saying that you want to get rid of all immigrants from this country because they don't belong here. We don't own this land.
I mean, but since when? But since when has America been fair? Like since
Yeah,
when
but
has
but
America ever
but that, but
been
the thing, yeah, but people
distinct
people
oppressed?
outside of people look at America as home of the free, land of the brave, right? They look at America like there's so many opportunities here. So why not? That's my whole point. Is like if people already look at us like we're a free country, and this is the land of opportunity. Why not let them here? Why not let them come here and start a new life for themselves and create their own opportunities? You know what I'm saying? When you have countries like Bosnia and shit that they stay, that's a war zone country. How was people supposed to live a healthy life, and they got bombs being aimed at them every night? You know what I'm saying? When you got a country like Haiti that they have no government, it's ran by thugs. How was anybody in Haiti supposed to live a long and healthy life out there when all that shit is going on?
Yeah,
You feel me? So it's like I don't get I've never understood that. Like this whole now I'm not saying, you know, if you have people that there are people that come over here that try to, kill Americans, like those people on,
jihadists.
yeah, from 9/11, like they blended in with the society. I believe they should be kicked out the country. If you come to this country to Americans, then yeah, you should be kicked out of the country. But if you come into this country to start a better life for yourself and your family, why not? Why not let them stay?
I, but the thing is, I mean, there are political extremists that are definitely dangerous, but are they really? But to me, they're no dangerous than the Ku Klux Klan, the Aryan Nation,
Mhm.
these homegrown domestic terrorist groups that have caused harm to black people and other uh, uh, racial groups here in America.
Right.
I mean, because like jihadists, they don't go after black people. They go after the symbols of oppression. And who causes more oppression than any group in
Yeah.
the world is rich white people that exert their control and influence like
People, man.
out of style.
I don't think the government is ever for the people. They're gonna put in office where they feel like needs to be in office.
I mean,
You know.
the U.S. government has uh, exerted so much, uh, systematic oppression on its people. You know, from COINTELPRO,
Mhm.
to uh, the KKK, to J. Edgar Hoover. Like people in government, you know, they collect all of this classified information, and for all we know, they got files on us. To They're just waiting for the perfect time to
Right.
do with it what they want to. Like the government throughout history has shown that they're not to be trusted. They cannot,
Mhm.
uh, they do not
Salute,
act in the people's interest.
salute, Ray. Yeah,
Oh,
man.
Ray is here.
I know. Yeah, I
Yeah.
sent them the link.
Oh, okay.
I sent them the link. But
It's gonna.
yeah,
I know we're about to get into the main topic,
uh,
but just to put a cap on this,
yeah,
I, I kind of, I hope for the best, but expect the worst.
right,
And in the last 6 months, this has been nothing short of a nightmare, and you just hope you hope that at some point that we will come up on a stop where we can actually put an end to this, or at least uh, at the very least, kind of return to some normalcy.
facts.
Because I don't look at the news anymore
Yeah,
because I know every time I turn on the news, I'm going to see something else that's going to
it's just
make me
crazy.
upset.
Yeah,
That's going to make me uh, feel cynical. So I just try to, as they say, guard my energy.
facts. It's just crazy, bro. Like I don't. He gotta go, man. He can't stay for 4 years. He cannot. He cannot. Something has to give.
Well, the Representative Al Green, he introduced articles of impeachment yesterday.
Mhm.
They don't try to impeach this man, but two other times, and
Right.
he's more Teflon than
Yeah.
John Gotti ever was. I don't know what
That
can
ain't
get
gonna work.
him.
That ain't gonna work. It has to be. It has to be like just the people not wanting to put up with his crap anymore. Salute, Rick.
Hey, Snoop King, salute.
Yeah, what up, Ray?
What's going on with you, fellas? How's everything?
Chilling, chilling. We just talking some NBA basketball and Trump.
Oh man, yeah, Rock was right, man. That whole Trump thing is like it's a nightmare, but not just because of what he's doing. What makes it worse is what our own people believe. Straight up,
Right.
you know, people. I don't hear that MAGA shit no more. Where that MAGA shit at?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Quiet. That shit's quiet. That
Yep.
shit's birds chirping. They was MAGA down. Oh, see, you don't understand. See, you still think about the old school black man mind state. See, you stuck
Right.
in that type of shit I had to deal with. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now look.
Yep.
So yeah, it's unfortunate. Like you said, man, I don't want to go too deep in it because I know y'all already got it, discussed it. But I'm gonna say this, right, Rock?
Yeah,
We
I
said
never heard
this.
I never heard so many black people talk about, it's time for us to leave the Democratic plantation.
It's
Now,
not even about Democrat Republican. I'm gonna be honest.
yeah,
It boils down to one thing, two things, right or wrong. That's it, man.
Yeah.
All that for years, man. The Democrat Republicans, they've been switching sides since the beginning. The Republicans was more in our favor in one era, then another era, the what do you call that? The motherfucking uh motherfucking Democrats is in our favor. So, more than
Yeah.
true.
Definitely, man. Oh yeah. I know people been wanting for us to talk about this Jim Jones and Nas thing. I just think it's gotten out of hand. There's so many platforms I've seen now talking about it. I'm like, y'all really think Jim Jones is better than Nas? Where? Like what classic Illmatic album does he have in his discography that's messing with Nas's catalog?
no, it's not that, bro. I'm keeping 100 with you, man. A lot of these platforms is chasing clickbait. That's all that shit is,
Yeah.
man. Damn
Yeah.
well. Even I'm be honest though. But he had the forefront of that shit because he basically made it. I'm gonna be honest, man. And don't get me wrong. I fucks with Jim Jones. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not gonna say like I don't. 2019, my favorite album was El Capo. I'm gonna keep 100.
Yeah,
I think
El Capo was dope. Yeah,
El Capo was the shit. I can't front. I wish he had some that shit on the verses or rap.
Yeah.
You know, some that shit on the verses. But listen.
Can you hear him?
Mm-mm.
You going in and out, Rick? Yeah, I just listen. I have respect for Jim because he had to build his own.
Now.
All right, I'm gonna say this. Jim been trolling on a low. Jim been trolling. Didn't know how to troll shit.
Right.
Jim know how to troll shit. You know what I mean? That's what it is. He basically said, "Yeah, I'm teaching you older rappers how to market." You know what I'm saying? And on top of that too, he still do respectfully say, "Yo, even though it was a Nas Dipset shit back in the day, that shit been squashed. But at the end of the day, I respect the fact that he still says Nas still one of my favorite rappers." Real shit. I mean, I'll be honest. I think Nas could possibly be his number one favorite rapper. I'm not, or top five at least, because I never heard Jones talk about no legends before this consistent ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, he paid homage, but I've never seen him and Cameron both pay homage to Nas, yo.
Right.
I respect him. Real shit. You know what I mean? You know, what Cam said. Like Nas in 94, it ain't hard to tell. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But there's actually people that feel like he could take Nas in a battle. With what?
Who are those people though?
With what?
Who are those people that's saying that? Because I guarantee you,
it's young kids are saying that.
Because I guarantee you, those people have never listened to a Nas song in their life.
Bro, it's the young kids that's saying that because the young kids grew up on Jim Jones. They didn't grow up on Nas.
And you know what though? Not all youngins. The ones that have heard this, I'll be honest. I know some youngins in their 20s that fuck with Nas. We live in an era where more of the youngins are digging in the crates.
Right.
So you do got some youngins. And I guarantee the youngins that fuck with Jim Jones, if they heard Nas, they be like, you know what? I might want to retract my statement. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but I'm gonna say this though. Hey, listen, Jim Jones done started some shit. More, it's bigger than him and Nas. Watch how many rappers really. I mean, they taking Jones to another level. Now, honestly, he ain't taking it to the level just for clickbait. Jim Jones said, "Listen, man, this is how I'm gonna get to the money, as far as what it could create, as far as stream." And that's what he did. So of course he said his streamers went up on everything, whether it's music, whether it's whatever his streamers got converted to earnings, do. And that's what he did. That's all he did, folks. That's all he did.
But what about the people that don't care about streaming? That like we're looking at it like from this is the most ludicrous shit you've ever said. But
be honest, we might have a ludicrous summer, bro. Real talk, it's gonna be some don't be surprised if a nigga like hypothetically speaking, like a Meek Mill say, nigga, I'm the king of Philly. Fuck a Black Thought.
Oh now, Lord. Can you imagine?
No. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying specifically Meek. Nah, I know Meek will do no shit like that. But what I'm saying is, I'm just hypothetically speaking. You know what I'm saying? Like, someone that's relevant, and he might call a legend out, or call somebody that he knows that the calibers don't match.
Right.
As far as lyrical or some shit like that. You know what I mean? I don't even want to compare me to Black Thought. They just come from Philly. They two of my favorites from Philly. I fucks with Philly.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think I can't even say I think. No respect to nobody. I love Black Thought. My favorite Philly rapper is still Baby C. I can't even front, man.
Right.
That's my nigga, yo. Real shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's my nigga. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're gonna see more trolling, bro. You might have a ludicrous summer. I promise you. Watch. Before the summer's over, we all have a discussion about somebody else doing the same shit. Watch.
Listen, I respect Jim because like I said, like he had to build his own fan base and coming out with some classic mixtapes and getting different record deals with Koch Records and Warner Brothers and starting Bird Gang when him and Cam was like on the outs. He started Bird Gang with Stack Bundles, rest in peace, and Mel Matrix and yeah, and Max B, you know what I mean? And Max B's coming out supposedly for Thanksgiving this year. And, he had to build his fan base, from the ground on up. And maybe that, I think that's part of his cockiness too, because he didn't get that Rockefeller deal like Jewels or Cam did. You know
You know
what I'm
what, though?
saying?
He need that shit. He ain't even need it.
Yeah.
He ain't need that on the Def Jam deal. He wanted,
Right.
prove Marlon was straight independent. How many rappers can say their biggest hit was independent? On
Yeah.
real shit.
There's
Marlon
not too
was
many.
marketing.
There's not too many.
Yeah, it's not. And that shit was marketed on a mainstream level back
Right.
in '06. So there's
Mhm.
reasons why Jim was cocky. Don't get me wrong.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like he definitely built his way through this shit. There's no denying, yo. And the nigga sat in the cut, played his part, and learned, and he earned, and he
Right.
won. And what he said, you never been. He said, they told me how to rap. They think I will overlap them. Yo, real shit. Like,
Mhm.
and I always say this, man. Like, I always say this. If that whole Max B and Stack Bundle situation didn't go where it went,
Right.
that shit would be just as big as MLG when Ross had recruited Big Bill and Wale.
Right.
Real talk. Real
But
talk.
I've never liked Wale on MMG though. I always thought he should have stayed underground.
No. I see what you're saying. I'm just saying, as far as like, it'd have been that big because
Yeah.
it reminds me that, like, as far as a rapper recruiting talent, because,
Right.
sometimes the concept of a rapper playing that position of business, some say yay, some say nay, depending on the situation. And real shit, and to us, the shit was already lined up. It just needed to be executed.
Right.
It was lined up with Jim Marlon. And like I said, the shit that happened with Max B and the what's that shit? Stack Bundles that died.
Yeah.
I really believe that that whole Bird Gang movement would have went to another level. Like I said, it would have been
Oh yeah.
like biggest in the state. You know what I'm saying? But
Definitely.
other than that, as far as but again, like I said, he put it down. There's no denying.
He did.
You want to go music? You want to go music wise? Listen, real shit. Music wise,
Mhm.
come on, man. Music wise, lyrically. No, and they said the rap part. That's a track. Yeah, he said the rap
Right.
part. He was like,
Right.
powerful. I can out rap Nas now, nigga.
Right.
Nigga. You smoking on that one pack? What pack you smoking on? What pack you smoking on? What pack you smoking on?
And Mace was the one that was ghostwriting for him. You ain't better than Mace.
Hey, listen. He ain't better than Mace, but ain't none of them better than Nas. Real shit.
Yeah.
Okay. And as far as like, and I ain't talking about, and I'm tired of motherfuckers like trying to downplay it. So he only been popular in the early '90s. Nigga, fucking crazy, nigga. And they been popular in the '90s, 2000, nigga, every fucking decade. I don't give a fuck if he took a break or if it was a time where he had to fall back.
Exactly.
Overall, not nigga. Come on, man. Come on.
Nas has the most anticipated album of the year with Primo coming. Nobody's talking about Jim Jones' album. I didn't even listen to Jim Jones' album.
Let me tell you something, man. It ain't been a lyrical problem that ain't the fucking Earth since '94, and that's it. Real
Facts.
shit. So all that out rapping shit, my nigga, stop. He the ad lib king, my nigga. And like I said, I fuck with you. But you ain't gonna out rap Esco, bro.
Nah.
And and like I said, he want listen. When it come from Harlem, yo, Epic Cam is him. I'm sorry, real
Yeah,
shit.
I agree.
It's like
I don't know. Some people would say it's Big L.
hey, listen, I can't even put Big on this category. I can't. You know what I mean? But like, if I want to say a Harlem roster, like start with Cam, I gotta
Uh,
say Cam number one. Cam number one at Harlem. First of all, Cam
right.
number one. Cam number one.
Hmm.
Bass at his time. Nigga Santana, I don't listen, yo.
He had his
People
time
think
too.
yeah, but I'm be honest, man. I might sound crazy. I
Um,
think Santana could make a comeback. I'm sorry, yo.
he can.
I,
He can. I've been saying, Ray, yo, I remember we did an album discussion on Diplomatic Immunity Volume 1, and Jewels was the MVP of that album. He was click. He was on the best songs.
And by the way, when Jim Jones told Shannon Sharp that we
Crazy.
went wild on Nas,
Crazy.
like, what does that mean? Like, went wild on Nas? Like, I know he mentioned like the Kofi list, like he was making fun of Nas wearing the Kofi and belly, but I don't know what that means.
so I Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he said, like we went wild on them boys, like
No. Because they did. I know they did. Listen, what you mean is, all right, when that whole shit happened back when the Summer Jam slash birth of Power 105, am I right? Drop
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
That's the birth. Was that the birth of Power 105?
Yeah. Definitely.
That was a viral moment, and it was
Yeah.
viral. It was viral on the radio though. They
Yeah.
kept playing that shit, and that shit was just being replayed. Like that's all they played was the whole weekend. All they put is that Nas interview. But anyway,
Yep.
when they started the beef, I can't even front. When it came to music, like Nas took a light on him. He didn't really mention because he tried not to like how can I say it? You know how a rap at a certain level, you don't feel like he's stupid to love he mentioned it, but
Right.
he didn't give a ether or some lyrical answer. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, he gave him a jab.
Right.
Them niggas, because he only gave him a jab, them niggas straight counterpunch that shit. I can't
Hmm.
front. I'd be lying if I didn't say Jim, motherfucking Cam, and Joel didn't go in on the Bravehearts. I'm
Hmm.
sorry.
Yep.
The Bravehearts didn't go hard enough. The
They were
Dipsets,
bad.
I'm sorry. And that solidified this fight even more when that shit
And
happened.
and
I'm
they
not
remember Nas and the Brave Force, they had beef with Dipset and State Property.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, State
See,
Property was lighting them up on Hot 97. That freestyle.
that was like they was like the Queens. State Pride was like the Queens. Period. They
Yo,
was
they were killing them.
Said we Queens gonna realize the flow don't stop. I'm like, yo.
They were
I
killing
was
them.
like, yo,
And
yo, hold
Jay was right
on.
there. He saw the whole thing.
Also, so I paid for the commercials. So
Right.
there's no commercial.
Right.
Yo, Obi still shit.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
Obi still shit, my nigga. Listen, Obi some shit.
Yep.
Damn, good times, man. So
Yeah.
Jim, I can't front on that. Jim is not. And when this conversation go viral, I don't care how long it be now. You know what I mean? It is shit. It's some real shit. Niggas might say, "Oh, you bugging." How you gonna be Nas when they talking that shit? Nigga, I'm keeping 100. I'm gonna say this again. That whole Nas and Dipset shit started. I can't front. Now Nas was talking mad shit on the radio, but when it came to the music, again, music lyrics,
Right.
battle verses, he didn't go in. He didn't put the same energy as he did with Hov and these other niggas. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? He did it with jab, not a body shot. The niggas counterpunch they from his jab, and that slid for that, and that made Cam even cocky because he did it on Hate Me Now. He did the diss track on Hate Me Now. Real
Right.
shit. Word up, yo. So and then that shit made mixtapes with Jim and Santana, man. Yo,
Yeah.
niggas Thanks for that, man.
they, my thing is like, yeah, like Jim kept Dipset relevant when him and Cam was on the outs, and Jewels was starting his own little crew with Skull Gang, and Bird Gang was hot. They had the best music out. Him and Max B and Mel Matrix and stacking them, and he kept them relevant. You know what I'm saying? But I think like when you come out and you say that you can out rap Nas, and you're asking Shannon Sharp, can he name 5 Nas songs? Like he's not a new artist. He's been around for like 30 something years.
But see, that was on Shannon Sharp though. Like
Right.
I gotta give it to Jim Jones. Like he called out Shannon Sharp because if you're gonna defend Nas that much, you gotta at least know a
Exactly.
Nas song.
Exactly.
So I gave that point to Jim Jones.
It made him look stupid. I'm like, you can't name 5 Nas songs or 5 Nas albums?
You couldn't. You even stuck. That nigga was stuck.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yo, I don't listen to rap lyrics. I'm 57.
Listen to that. Is it the beat, nigga? What the fuck?
Right.
The beat?
Exactly. Like, what are you listening to then?
Yeah,
like you can't defend nobody and not have receipts, yo.
real shit. It's like we have enough information. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Straight up. And you know what? And he could have been going off the most he probably knows is the clout. You know what I'm saying? Opposed to actual like lyrics and songs and shit like that. He probably knows that status wise. Like he that nigga, you know what I mean? But, he don't know what made that status as far as music, so.
But if you look at like Ray mentioned, like imagine if Meek Mill called out Black Thought and said, "I'm the real king of Philly."
Really?
There's a precedent. Do y'all remember 10 years ago when Action Bronson went on Sports Nation and said that Ghostface ain't rapping like this?
Uh-huh.
And what did Ghostface do?
Yep.
His ass up.
I think it speaks to Jim Jones, his relevance in the culture, that people have more respect for Jim Jones than Action Bronson.
Right.
Because Action Bronson, as soon as he said that on ESPN, no sooner Ghostface was on his ass.
Reg, what up?
Hey y'all, what's up? What's up?
Dylan.
What y'all talking about?
We talking about the Jim Jones and Nas thing. Like, what you think about this? What do you have to say?
I was just actually talking to somebody about this. First of all, I'm just going to say this. I do respect Jim Jones' contributions in hip hop, but he's not touching Nas. Just being real.
Nah, never.
Like, and don't get me wrong. You said what?
No, go ahead.
And don't get me wrong. So I was not really
going in and out. But I'll be good at that part.
I hear what you said.
You said what?
No, I hear what you said. My bad, Reg.
I was saying, I wasn't really the biggest Dipset fan growing up, but over the years, I got into the music catalog. I'm mostly really a Cam fan.
Yeah.
But like, if you want to talk about elite lyricism, elite MC, and just artistry, Nas is like the complete package. And honestly, maybe the most consistent MC right now, if you want to keep it a buck.
Right.
Jim Jones, you say Jim Jones, the first thing you think of is Ballin', Pop Champagne. Those are the first 2 songs, I think. If you're a deep fan, yeah, you might go into the mixtape shit. Right. But here's the thing, though. Mixtapes and albums are really not the same thing. Exactly. It's a whole different arena. Like, a true artist has to be the one to carry a whole album and carry stories and concepts and everything. Nas changed, even on Nas's worst day, like Nasir. Jim Jones ain't touching that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I Nasir was bad, yo. I like huh?
I can't front, fellas. I like that Nasir too.
You like the Nasir joint?
Whoa.
You might be the only one that like that joint.
My worst album for Nas was Streets Disciple. I thought that
Neto,
was
no.
Whoa, what?
Wow.
yes,
Yo,
Wow.
I got Streets
Okay. Hold
Disciple
on.
right here.
Streets Disciple had some joints though, but it was
Yeah.
a weird project, even for nonsense.
On double album, it could have been better because listen, all the greats make double album.
Jay-Z double album was bad too.
I thought
I ain't
Jay-
saying it
I
was
thought-
good. I ain't saying it was good, but I'm saying. I ain't gonna lie, I was disappointed in Streets Disciple, but it was certain songs that I still fuck with. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
2020, I started playing the Nasty Savage War. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And certain shit, but that Nasty album, well, fuck the Nasty album up is the goofy ass nigga that produced it was talking dumb shit at the time. They talking about this Trump shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, good.
Nas had to depart himself from him. You know what I mean? Smoothly, quiet. You know what I'm saying? Because he talking all that goofy shit, and we all know Nas will represent shit goofy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what put a bad taste in people's mouth. He even said it on the Angie Martinez show. He said, "Listen, man, I'm doing another motherfucker album this year, the Lost Tapes 2, just to
Right.
get that bad taste out of people's mouth from the last shit." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Together Othello or more. Oh my God, they speak venomous on the board. Oh my Lord, my enemies clear, I'm sure. Man, discipline for the win. He's like journey far, learn who you can be, but you can learn who you are when you around family. Chip off the shoulders from soldiers on their grizzle. My granddaddy, Mac Little, Barry Annie Little. They passed down wisdom, blessings were given. Pray my sins don't get down to my children. I made a killing. I'm alive like the morning star. Come on, man. Yo, let me tell you something, man. That nigga still killed that album. He killed that shit.
I was hyped for what Kanye did with those albums. He gave Tiana Taylor a better album to me than Nas. He gave Pusha T a better album than Nas. He gave
an amazing album.
Salute to them
even the
niggas, though.
Kid See Ghost. The Kid See Ghost album was fire.
You know what I'm saying? Salute to them niggas. When you say Pusha T, hey, listen, man, I'm looking for that clip shit right now.
Yes, definitely.
Real shit.
Well, let me ask y'all a question though. Do you feel like Nas did to Slick Rick what Kanye did to Nas and Nasir album? Be real.
What you mean?
Because that Victory album, I'm sorry, it wasn't really.
I don't like the album in audio form, but the visuals are better. It's a better visual album.
I gotta see the
I
video.
like it. Yo, all right. So here's the thing. Not why you say that? Because Nas didn't produce the album like Kanye did for Nas.
True.
It's on his label though.
Yeah, but you know, like that nigga hands. I mean, I don't know, but I'm not gonna give him. I got whoever's actually producing, like I was, like Kanye.
It was Slick Rick did the beats. It was because he self-produced his own stuff.
You got to blame Slick Rick.
I think that's apples and oranges because Kanye West, he produced that album from top to bottom. He made all of the creative and business decisions around that project. Coming, deciding to have only 7 songs for Nasir, deciding, which versions of songs would be on the album.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it seems like the only involvement Nas had with Slick Rick's project was having it on Mass Appeal.
True.
He gave Slick Rick full autonomy.
So, but who was it? Slick Rick's idea or Nas's idea to have like a lot of like 1-minute tracks on that album? That album was short.
Exactly. Like I feel like it was a poor man's Mad Villain.
Yeah.
We were like based off a different like we live in an era where a lot of people making content a little shorter because of the level of attention span that we live in today's society, in today's time, on certain things as far as music. And on top of that, it's been a minute since there was a Slick Rick album. You know what I mean? So you never know. This might be like a warm up for something else. You never know.
Well, Ray, I keep hearing that like who started that whole narrative that the young generation has a short attention span because it's the young generation that listen to Cardi B. Cardi B about to drop a 23-track album in September.
If it actually comes out.
Right, if it comes out on time.
You understand that's Cardi B, right? Even though she hasn't dropped an album, she dropped a lot of strong music and she won that freshman impact within the last 7 years. So
Right.
Rick ain't dropped shit. 26 years. That's a long time, my nigga.
Yeah, and that's why we expected the album to be longer.
Yeah, he you know what? And some of the length expectation, I'm not surprised because Redman gave us a long ass album that was fire.
Exactly. Yep.
You know what I mean? So, but you know what? No disrespect. They probably this is probably a way of easing it in because it's been that long. And on top of that, you know, remember Slick Rick? He from the era of Kane and Rakim.
Right.
So his last actual album that everybody fucked with was really 89, my nigga. Real shit. You know what I mean? Well, then again, no, I ain't gonna say that because even the shit he had locked up, I like that shit too.
Beyond
Like
Bars,
said,
yeah, Beyond Bars was fire.
yeah, I like that shit too. He's that he wasn't
You know?
known for. That's all.
I think he's gonna drop a deluxe edition because I noticed like for the visual album, he played like a bonus track that Q-Tip produced that's not on the album. So he might re-release the album with like bonus songs.
You ain't tell me Q-Tip was on it.
Yeah, Q-Tip produced
That
the
makes
last track. He I forgot the name of the last track. He produced that, but there's another track that Q-Tip produced that's not on the album, but they played it in one of the videos.
Yeah, I ain't know all that.
Yeah.
I gotta watch the visuals again though, because the shit was
Yeah.
dope. You know what I'm saying? I was
It
tired.
is. It's dope.
I kind of fell out, but the
Yeah.
shit was fire last time I saw it.
It made more sense visually. Like when you see the actual skits and the interludes visually, it made more sense compared to listening to them in audio form. I'm like, what the hell is this? A 13-second skit? You know, it didn't make no sense audio like when you listen to it, but when you see it, it made more sense. You know, I mean,
But
I liked about 5 or 6 tracks on there though. I just felt like it was too short of a project.
but going back to Jim Jones, like I told Triborough last week, there's a song that Nas has called "Foul Breeze."
Yeah.
That it was meant to be on Lost Tapes. Foul Breeze is one of the best Nas songs ever in terms of pure MCing. As far as I'm concerned, it's a top 10 Nas song to me. It's a personal classic.
Yeah.
Does Jim Jones have
You
a
said
song?
which one?
Foul Breeze?
It's called Foul Breeze.
It's unreleased.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on the New York shit beat.
You can find it on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called
It's over the same loop that Busta
New
Rhymes
York shit.
New York shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the shit. You like somebody's strength, somebody's just
Yeah.
couldn't figure it out.
Was that supposed to be on Hip Hop Is Dead?
It was supposed to be on that album, I think. No, or Lost Tapes or some shit like that.
Yeah, because
wow.
he mentioned like a fan wrote him from Japan, and
As was I black.
a show. Yeah, he asked me, "Are you black?" Like that joint is, to me, it was worthy on being on an album. I don't think Jim Jones has an unreleased song that is comparable to that. That's how great
he has a
Nas
song.
is.
When they used to do the mixtapes, they put like unreleased songs on there because they couldn't clear the sample. So he has a song, and I forgot the name of it, but it was on one of his mixtapes where he sampled the Commodore's Zoom, but the Commodores didn't clear the sample.
I know which one you're talking about too.
Yeah, they never cleared the sample, but that's the only like unreleased joint that I could think of right now from Jim that I was like, oh, this is dope. But he don't have like memorable unreleased joints like Nas do.
Hell, he don't have memorable unreleased joints like Cameron do. Let's keep it a buck.
Right, facts.
Yeah, so I think like if you think about Nas's greatness, like he is one of a few artists that can put out official releases of his unreleased joints, Lost Tapes 1 and Lost Tapes 2.
See, I didn't like 2, except for like maybe 2 or 3 songs. A lot of the other stuff could have been left unreleased. Like that Pete Rock joint that he did, and he just like sampled the naughty Uptown Anthem joint.
Yeah.
I'm like, Pete could do better than that.
I ain't gonna lie, that shit grew on me, but I ain't gonna front. I wasn't fucking with that album at first. It grew on me. Talking about on Lost Tapes 2.
Yeah.
Oh man, yo,
Those should have been
I will
lost.
say, like, there wasn't a song on Lost Tapes 2 that I liked as
Right.
much as No Ideas original.
Right.
Oh no,
Ooh.
now No
It
Ideas
wasn't
original. Let me tell you
Yeah.
something. That's his. I think no. I don't think no rapper is more detailed than him. That Shaw called No Ideas original. He said, if niggas can look inside my mind, you'll find where bodies are buried. First, look past the hotties of who dimes into the center, enter with caution, past the brain cell graveyard where we responsible for memory loss. God.
Wow.
Fire.
Yeah. But some of those joints, I was like the Tenasia joint that RZA did. I'm like, nah, I didn't like that the beat that RZA gave him for that. You know, there was an Alchemist joint on there I didn't care for, but Lost Tapes 1, that's a classic.
Oh yeah, that's probably the best unreleased album.
Yeah,
Unreleased album in hip hop history.
definitely. If all those joints was on I Am and Nostradamus, he would have had a great double album.
How did y'all feel about War Against Love? Because I felt like that joint could have been on Distant Relatives.
I don't even remember that joint. What album that's from? That's from Distant
It's
Relatives?
from Lost Tapes 2.
Nah, I don't even remember that.
See, that Lost Tapes 2 was so forgettable. I forgot which shit was
I
there.
don't remember that one.
Like, I don't know, man. It's just like once I heard it was from like Hip Hop Is Dead, that era, I was just like, oh
Yeah.
Lord. Because and Hip Hop Is Dead could have been such a great. The concept was great, but yeah, you had the song where he was rapping like a 1920 gangster.
Right.
Like the best song, really. Y'all might not agree with me with that song. Can't Forget About You with Chrisette Michele, and I'm not really a Chrisette Michele fan.
I don't
though.
remember that song.
Oh, that was a single too.
I remember. Didn't he have he had a joint by Chris Webber produced on that album, right?
With
It's
who?
called Blunt Ashes.
Yeah, Chris Webber, the NBA player. I remember that joint.
God.
And the Where Are They Now? I actually liked. I like that joint because he's talking about like the different artists like Craig G and EPMD and all that.
I know a lot of rappers got mad because he felt like Nas was calling them has-beens and shit.
Right. But they got to pay attention to what he was saying though.
I mean, Nas had some clunkers on Hip Hop Is Dead, like the joint with Snoop Dogg, Play on Player, like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like.
You know what? I got a Nas hot take.
I
don't feel like Nostradamus is as bad as many people think.
I always felt that way.
It's all right. It's not great. Like I said, like if those joints like Drunk by Myself was on the album, it would have been a great album, great double album.
Compared to a lot of
original, that's what I'm talking about. The original I Am, bro.
Yeah,
that's the fucking that's the shit that. Let me tell you something. If he had released the original I Am, real shit, that shit would have rock hard in our life, yo.
Yeah,
that shit is fucking raw, yo.
For sure.
Like that song he got okay, you wanna play rough?
Papa, yeah, that drink, yeah. Wanna play rough? Papa was a player.
Pull it to my crib. He said, who pull it to my crib? Am I high enough? Who these niggas hiding in the truck? I ain't know the cable. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, and Stay Alive, yo.
Yeah.
All we want is fame. All we want is cash.
No, the original version of Project Windows, though. Let's talk about that.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Project Window, and then on top of that, the birth, like when he was born. You know what I'm saying?
The fetus joint.
You know what I'm saying? This place they call the world. Damn, I forgot that. Usually I don't forget. I forgot that verse. It'll come back to me. But
you know the whole there's a whole story with that double album. Like he like the fetus to start with fetus when he's born, and then there was a point where he had gotten killed, and then he was reborn as Nostradamus. Like on I think it was on Dying Love. Like he had gotten killed, and then he was reborn as Nostradamus.
I thought you loved me.
There was a whole story behind that whole double album. I'm like, yo, this shit would have been epic.
The Chino life. Chino life was raw.
You know,
he's like, Gambles Hustle Stars.
That
What,
He
it's
said
what,
like though,
Queen.
why Jay never did nothing like that, like to kill yourself and be born as Nostradamus. Like that's like some genius shit.
was Papa
Well,
was
let's,
the place supposed to be on
Undying Love. What you say?
Nostradamus?
I never
Mm,
hang out. When we bust the 4-5, the bullets coming back at us when we jump in the ride.
right,
Yo,
crazy.
he cracked me up with that shit. You know, but he kept it 100. That nigga said, well, I never hang out. But when we do, we bust a 4-5. The bullet jumping back at us when we jump in the
Right,
ride. You know what I'm saying?
crazy shit.
Niggas shoot me. Yo, real shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, yo, listen, man. Ain't nobody. Listen, man. I'm telling you. And as time go by, he reminds me of why he's the number one motherfucker lyricist out
Right.
here. You know what I mean? Rapper. Real shit. He reminds us.
What Reg? What's that post you had where they were looking for artists that had like a 5 album run?
oh yeah, I saw that shit.
You got to
Nigga.
include Ice Cube. Ice Cube had a 5 album run.
Hmm.
Honestly, you got to include Too Short. Let's talk about Too Short too.
I ain't. Damn.
Mm.
I ain't know Too Short had a 5
I'm
album
I'm
run.
I'm not a big Too Short fan, so I can't comment on that. But I mean, so many
Wait,
people they leave out Lethal Injection. Lethal Injection was a solid album for Cube.
wait. Ice Cube has a 5 album run.
To me,
Yeah,
he
I ain't
do.
know that.
If you started the Kill It Will EP and from Kill It Will to America's Most Wanted to Lethal Injection, I mean not Lethal Injection, Death Certificate, The Predator, and then Lethal Injection.
Hmm.
Oh,
No, he
Hmm.
was, no,
I was thinking because I was thinking, are you going to include War and Peace?
Nah, hell no,
hell no.
no. Nobody
I
include
mean,
that. That's
No,
like his Nostradamus.
but
throwing Bow Down from West Side Connection. You call
Yeah,
it good night.
but see,
yeah.
War
Bow
and
Down
Peace
is a classic.
but War and Peace was Q's fifth
Niggas don't want
solo
to
album.
include
No,
War and
no, no. But we
Peace.
no, but we talking about like 5 album run in his discography though.
Hey,
What do you
nah, I
mean?
gotta give it to Cube on that one, yo. When you name it, you reminded me.
Yeah. You got it. You know what I'm saying? Like that was his. One Piece came later on. You know what I'm saying? But they forget Lethal Injection. I'm like, he had like mad joints on that album.
But you said 5 album run, so I'm
Uh-huh.
thinking solo album.
So you're not counting Killer Will?
I didn't include Kill at Will because that was an EP. I was thinking of
Well. So was I mean, yeah.
full length album.
Bone Thugs had an EP, and they always include that.
And they consider that an album too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just never considered Kill at Will to be like a full. I never looked at it in the same way as Creeping on the Come Up. But yeah,
Right.
you're right. Like if you include Kill at Will, but yeah,
Yeah.
that would make five. That would meet the 5 album criteria.
I mean, not too many artists have a 5 album run. A lot of artists got 3 album runs, but 5 albums is hard to do.
That's hard as
I mean,
shit.
Yeah.
not even Common has a.
Yeah, Common don't got that.
Yo, I ain't
Well,
gonna, I ain't
hold
gonna
on.
hold you. Ross do
Hold
though.
up. Wait a
Ross do.
minute.
Common got it.
Let's
He
see.
might.
One
Yo,
day,
you know what? Yo, real shit.
Uh,
Common might have it, yo. Now I
one
think
day,
about it. Yeah.
one like Resurrection. One day it'll make sense. Like Water for Chocolate, Electric Circus, and
B.
B.
See, I
B.
don't include Electric Circus though. I don't think it was a great album.
That's a
You know what?
classic album. Watch your mouth.
Whoa.
Electric. There will be no Electric
I
Circus
think it's
slander.
okay. I don't think it was great like that.
If Andre 3000 had an album like that, y'all be on his dick right now and
That's
shit.
not true. Look what
Yes, it was.
he's coming out with now. Look, he got a piano album out now. Who's listening to that joint?
What's
Me a
next?
flute.
A harmonica? What's next? A harmonica album or something?
You see, like
Nah,
with Common, that
that
Fucking
flute on stage is funny as shit, yo. I
triangle,
can't even front, yo.
Wow.
fucking triangle album and shit.
Yo.
Nigga just don't want to rap no more and shit.
Yeah.
you see, like the problem though.
fucking recorder. Y'all remember them little instruments, the recorder you play?
Right?
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
I mean, like Electric Circus was Common's 5th album.
It was good, but classic?
Yes.
Is it a classic?
Look at how many albums try to do. How many motherfuckers try to do an album like Electric Circus?
He was. That's when he was wearing like crochet hats and shit.
I mean, at that time, like I think that was the last album where the Soulquarians had the bulk of the production.
Right.
I agree.
But I think the number of ideas that he was trying to cram,
Yeah,
it was
it was weird.
so eclectic that he missed the target.
Yeah.
Like he was trying to, it was almost like he was trying to include all of his musical influences. Like I want
It,
to include some
Who
Jones
that?
Common.
it, it felt like he was trying to do what Andre and Jimi Hendrix did on that album.
What the like water for chocolate?
No, Electric Circus.
I like
And one,
circus. Oh, you talking
and
about the
one
one
year
with
later,
Mary?
Yeah.
Because like it seemed like he
Yeah.
was trying to, like, on one song he's trying to be like Gil Scott Heron, but the next song he's trying to be like Jimi Hendrix. Like it's a very ambitious project, but to me, if it could have been more concise, it would have been a better project.
That's a hot take, Sam.
and one year
said
later,
one day it all
okay,
makes sense over B. That's a hot take.
I'm not mad at that.
I love one day all day makes sense. I don't know if it's better than B though.
I mean, one
know.
day it all makes sense. I mean, I mean, you're pretty much pitting No ID versus Kanye, and
Right.
and one day it'll all make sense. That's a
Yeah.
good album.
Underrated.
I'm not sure if it's as great as B,
Right.
considering just how much Kanye captured the zeitgeist of where Common was in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
To me, to me, B was the best album of 2005.
I'm not mad at that.
I ain't gonna hold you. B was. I ain't gonna lie. I said the same thing until late registration dropped.
Mm.
Word up. I ain't gonna hold you.
I
you know what I mean?
I didn't like that album for years. I just felt like there was some songs that hit and there was some songs I didn't care for, like the Brandy collab. I didn't care for that.
Who had
Oh,
Brandy
you
collab?
lied.
The with Brandy on late registration. The Brandy song.
Oh yeah, I like that song. I like
You liked it?
Brandy. You know what I'm saying?
I like that he picked the right singles, like Touch the Sky and Heard Him Say and Diamonds.
I like shit with Nas. The nigga had Nas and Cam on the same album.
We Major. That was on the 2K. I forgot what 2K was on.
We Major. Come on, homie, we Major.
That was fire. Drive Slow. He picked the right singles.
That shit with Drive Slow.
Yeah. Paul Wall
And
and
that shit
TLC.
with Cam. That shit with Cam.
Yeah, Cam was on that album.
Home.
Yeah.
I mean,
how
can we forget about crack music?
Crack music.
Oh, that's that shit.
The Game. Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
Man, you know how many?
Damn, Kanye need to get back to the music, man. Fuck all that other bullshit.
Right.
Like Papoose rhymed over that beat.
Mm-hmm.
Fab rhymed over that beat.
Sam, you think B is overrated? That's crazy.
Who?
You think B is overrated? Wow.
Who?
He said he think B is overrated.
Who's B?
The album B.
Nah.
Wow.
You said overrated?
Overrated, yeah. Nah, man. That album
overrated.
is great.
I thought I'm more underrated.
That album is great for a reason. Like 10 joints, all 10 joints are banging.
Yo, you know my favorite song on B?
Mm-hmm.
The last song.
Yeah.
It's Your World.
Yep.
Like I swear to God, like to me, it's like
that's my shit.
Yo, that's like the rap version of Black Man from Songs in the Key of Life.
It's your world.
At the very end, when he had like the kids saying what they wanted to be when they grow up, and Common's pops, talking at the very end.
Yeah.
Every time I hear Common's dad talk, it's like I'm hearing like grandfather wisdom.
Right. Yeah, his father did that a lot, right? Like on Pop's raps and all that.
Yo, man, like every time you heard Common's father talk, it was like hearing like your old grandfather give you some good game about
be black, be this, be that. That shit was dope.
Oh yeah. So many bangers on that. They Say with John Legend. was on that
Big,
album.
that's
Yeah,
my shit.
I
That's my
love
My
shit.
that.
shit too.
Big say,
Yeah, the Lovers joint that Dilla did. You know, the joint with what's the other
Oh,
joint?
Love
The
Is.
Testify. Yeah, like every song on that album was fire.
come up in the spot, looking extra fly.
Man,
Yeah.
a song of one of the coldest songs on that album is
Mm,
"Faith."
yes.
Man, like I saw Common in concert, and
Uh,
when he went Faithful, all of like every like all of the female fans was just singing along. They were damn near fawning over him.
yeah. Yeah.
It's your world, yeah. It's your world. Yeah, that was that shit.
Mm, overrated. Wow, that's crazy,
Nah,
I
Sam.
feel like
I think it's
I
underrated.
feel like it's right just where it's at. It's not overrated or
Yeah,
underrated. I feel like it gets the rightful respect.
like it got a lot of promotion because he was on good music.
And it was a comeback album too, you know.
Right.
It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Kanye and Jay Dilla doing your shit. Come on, man.
Yep. Yep.
To me, and also like if you look at a song like "The Corner" with the Last Poets,
Yes.
yo,
I forgot about that.
man, like number one, just the fact that Common reached out to the early, uh, like the proto rap, like the Last Poets,
Mhm.
from the Black Arts movement.
Yeah.
To me, just the fact that he did that it lets me know that Common really appreciates a lot of the black poets and artists from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Same thing with Nas. Like to me, that's another thing that no MC has over Nas or Common is like his understanding of where rap came from. This is an
Right.
African art form, like from the griots.
Facts.
When I hear like B, when I hear uh, you know, a Nas album, I feel like I'm listening to uh, rap in its purest form.
Hmm. Yep. Yeah. I don't get that from Jim. Jim is like, you know what audience he's aiming for. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, he a old head just like Nas and Common. It's like he don't portray that in his music.
I mean, according to him, like there's you know, like he talks about Nas is like at Social Security age.
Right. Like
And he
mm,
started making it seem like too that Nas is like I said, stop fronting like when he talk about stop fronting like he was only hot in the early '90s. That was it.
Right.
That's bullshit. He just
Exactly.
the early '90s is the way he started. That's what
Exactly.
it is. That's where he
Yep.
started. That ain't where he was just only hot. Hell no. Like
Right.
nigga, it was written. It was written. Didn't drop until motherfucking
96.
'96.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what I
And
mean. So
and also like a couple years ago, Nas put out a Lucy called Echo.
ooh,
Hmm. Yeah. With
Echo
Swizz.
with Swiss Beats,
Yeah.
man, yo, that song is from an MCing point of view. I dare any Jim Jones fan to point to a song where Jim Jones goes through that many changes in his style
Right.
and makes so many references, to science and to history and to religion and put it in a context where people in the hood can relate to.
Yeah. I agree.
you hear me?
Yeah.
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 Hold up. You hear me now?
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Much better.
Hold up. Damn. Y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
I was trying to connect to my headphones. Damn. Hold up. Hold up. How about now?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Damn.
And then it's like it was on Hot 97. You have Rosenberg, who's like the biggest culture vulture ever. and Ebro arguing about who they don't believe Nas has the best discography like Jay. I'm like, are y'all crazy?
Say that again.
Like they did a video where they talking about where they talking about the Jim Jones and Nas thing, and then they mentioned that they feel like Jay-Z has the best discography. I'm like, over Nas? Nas already surpassed him to me.
Real
Jay
shit,
Z,
man.
Jay Z is kind of
Peter
up there
Rosenberg?
low key. I ain't gonna.
He is, but he has some trash in his discography.
He do.
Isn't Peter Rosenberg the same guy that swings from Kendrick Lamar's nuts every time he gets on the
Yeah.
mic?
Yep. Yeah, and they're trying to figure out, well, who else has a great discography? Ghostface, Redman, Sean Price. You
Shaq.
know,
But see, like when people say that, do people like Ray mentioned Street's Disciple as as an album he wasn't
they
really selling.
mentioned that too, because they're like going through both Jay and Nas discography and talking about the bad albums, and they mentioned Street Disciple. I'm like, but Street Disciple has some joints.
But see, I like Street's Disciple more than Blueprint.
So do I.
The Gift and the Curse.
Yeah, so do I. Blueprint 2 and 3. I didn't like those
There's a
albums.
lot of filler on that album.
Yeah. Yeah. He picked the right singles though. From Blueprint 3, he had the right singles, but overall I didn't like the album cuts. And same with the Blueprint 2. I thought Street Disciple was better.
I just feel like they should have never been a Blueprint 2 or 3. I'm just giving it about.
I agree. He should have never made those. I agree.
See, the curse on Blueprint 2 was way better. If he would have just dropped that after the Blueprint, it would have been much more respectful. You can keep the excuse me, miss, but 2003 Bonnie and Clyde is one of the worst Jay songs ever.
Exactly.
Man,
and Tupac didn't even fuck with you. Why
now,
you sampling his shit anyway? He didn't fuck with you like that.
Hell, even Tony Braxton used that beat before Jay-Z too. Y'all forgot about that too.
Yeah, you told me that. I don't remember the Tony joint though.
It was on the More Than a Woman album. I forgot the name of the song, but she used the exact kind of same melody and everything too.
Wow.
Yeah. She was going in on Jay-Z in one. I forgot which one. I have to send it to you when I find it.
Yeah.
I'll never forget where I was when I heard Bonnie and Clyde 03.
Mm-hmm.
I was at Wayne State.
Oh.
And I was I had night class.
Right.
And I had some time to myself. I was in the car and I heard it on the radio.
Yeah.
And like the way Jay was rhyming, like B, like you know how Jay-Z says B's name.
Yeah.
And the way he was rapping, it was so lazy, and then it was so lackluster. I felt like this is like you turn like the original was a hardcore song that was nuanced with metaphor, and you turned it into a saccharine love song that it was sappy, and Beyonce did all of the work, and
that was bad.
And I remember they played that song all the time, and now I highly doubt if they even do that song in concert.
Yeah, I remember seeing the video on MTV. I didn't like it. I just was like, what is this, yo? Like, Yeah, like again, like that's why they slimmed it down, because I'm like, he picked the best joints on that double album, and then they came out with was it Blueprint 2.1 or whatever they called it? Yeah, like Holy Baby and somehow some way, like those joints were fire. I didn't like a lot of that other shit he had on me.
And also,
like,
I did not like A Dream. Like how you gonna just like totally steal Biggie's verse from Juicy and just say it word for word?
From Juicy?
Talking about a dream?
The one with Faith Evans?
Yeah.
But I didn't mind that joint. I didn't mind that one though.
He be paying homage. I get it. I think that's his way of paying homage, because he ain't the only one that did it. It's just that he's recognized for doing it more than any rapper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Is that like, what we calling it though?
No, but what I'm saying is like Because no disrespect to Big, it's not like Hove need big lyrics either. Let's keep it
Right.
1,000. Like
Right.
Hove was that nigga lyrically before Biggie passed. So
Right.
you know what I mean. So that's why I only like like how can I say it you know assassinate his credibility with it. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So that but
I mean, but that's always been a knock on Jay-Z, that he uses Biggie's lyrics
No,
as a smokescreen
and
to
Nas
get
mentioned
away
that in
with
Ether.
fighting.
You mentioned that in Ether also.
Yeah, and to me, that's fair criticism.
Right.
Everybody bites from one another. I know a lot of motherfuckers bit from Biggie more than Jay-Z. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's one thing when somebody biting, it's another thing when somebody just paying homage. Because again, you talk about cats who don't need their lyrics. Let's just keep it a buck.
Right.
Talking about Nas and Jay-Z,
Mm-hmm.
two of the best lyricists of all time. You get what I'm saying? So they just paying homage. Trust me, they don't need them. You know what I mean? I say that respectfully. Shit, Biggie did it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, shit, he did it too. So it's like,
He bit Slick Rick.
Yep.
for real, more slick.
Everybody bit Slick Rick too. Man.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, Biggie is Scarface, Kane, and Biz Markie put together, yo. Real shit.
Ooh. I don't know about Scarface though. I don't know.
Today's agenda. Got the suitcase up in the Centra. Call her Route 112. Tell them Blanco sent you. Come on, man. Stop. Stop. Life After Death had Scarface should have been on Life After Death.
He should have.
Shit.
He should have.
Yeah.
Hell, Biggie Jack suicidal thoughts from Scarface. Scarface killed himself at the end of Mr. Scarface's back.
Right.
When I die, fuck it, I want to go to hell because I'm a piece of shit. Ain't hard to fucking tell. Nigga, that's Scarface and Ghetto Boys,
didn't
man.
Scarface dropped in 97, right? Didn't he drop Untouchable?
Yeah.
Same
That shit
year.
was Smile with Tupac.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scarface should have been on Life After Death, yo.
Yeah.
Real shit. Scarface should have, you know what I mean? Especially
Scarface,
somebody got to die. If I go, you gotta go. I can
Ooh.
imagine Scarface on that beat.
Definitely.
No one, like, you know what I'm saying? Come on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Scarface has a 5-album run too, if you want to think about it.
Right.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Nigga. And that Life After Death, yo. See what keep Biggie relevant and Pac is not so much about that. Well, even though that's like the most hype hip hop story of all time. Let's just keep it a buck. Cause that story keep reinventing itself. You know what I mean? Like every day. You know what I mean? Through different avenues, from a new story, new documentary, new series, a new holiday, a new anything dealing with Biggie and Pac, whether it's together or separate, right? But one thing for sure, them niggas made timeless music, yo. And that's because when they both passed, they both was on top.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? When they was going at it, they were the top.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? Pac was out and we was waiting for the Biggie shit. You know what I mean? It's just that only thing I didn't like about them niggas, and both of them niggas did, the only thing I didn't like about them, the only thing is they manifested death too damn much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to hear about nobody manifesting death that we rocking with. You get what I'm saying? Like, nigga, we need you here.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So
if the commission project was fully realized, do you
hit a
think
game from the work?
Do y'all think Biggie and Jay-Z would have clashed?
Nah.
Eventually?
Nah. For
the top
that's another thing too, man. Niggas need to squash that. Yo, if Biggie was alive, Jay-Z wouldn't be Jay-Z. No, nigga, Jay-Z still would have been Jay-Z. We just seen another Biggie, and Pac would have still been that nigga. I think Jay-Z and not Jay-Z. I think Pac and not Nas. I think Pac and Biggie would have been the niggas to go to when you want to squash your beef, yo. I think they would have been the mediators to squashing rap beef, yo.
Jay
was political as fuck.
Jay was in the business before Biggie. Let's keep it a bug. Back in '89, Hawaiian Sophie.
That's
Biggie made
true.
his first mark. Biggie made his first mark in '92.
Don't forget, I got you. Don't forget, hey y'all, can I get open? You know what?
Hey,
you know what?
They don't know nothing about that. They don't know nothing about that shit.
Yeah.
Because guess what? The same summer that Biggie dropped, it was all a dream. I used to whole drop. I can't get with that.
Right.
That shit?
Spark.
Yeah. So I hit him like this.
Yep. Facts.
But you know
I mean,
what?
he was
When that nigga
killing it
came
with
out,
that scat flow.
nah. See. All right, I remember Jay-Z with the Jazzo shit. I remember Jay-Z with Original Flavor.
Yeah.
I can't get with that and that shit with Show and Prove with Big Daddy Kane. But
Right.
to me, this is when I knew he's about to really turn shit up. In my lifetime, I need to see a whole
Mm.
lot of
The
dough.
remix.
Now
And
the
I
Yep.
got a
remix.
money
Talk
The
about
machine.
the
And it
remix.
remix.
goes,
What's the
and I could tell he was really doing it.
meaning?
Oh, the
What's the
remix?
What's the
meaning of
meaning of
life?
life?
That
Come
nigga
on,
said,
man.
my
Don't
first
fuck with me.
felony's approaching. Caught my first key, took a freeze. Now I'm frozen. God
Come on,
damn.
man. Come on.
Whoa,
And
this
and they
nigga's
played that in that Tupac film Bullet with Mickey Rourke
word up, yo.
at the end credits.
Don't.
Yeah.
What's the meaning? It's the
Meaning.
thought of a ride
What's
to make my
the
eyes wide.
meaning?
I'm caught up. I'm trying to make all
Fire.
my dreams materialize. So I saw them. See back the vibe says it's straight and narrow. I found the new route. You about to see my life change. And we
Mm,
did.
mm,
That's the thing, yo. That's the thing about Nas and Hove and Biggie and Pac, yo.
right.
Nas and Hove used to manifest who they were going to become.
Yep.
Real shit, yo.
Facts.
And unfortunately, Pac and Big manifested that they weren't going to be here long, yo.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole
Facts.
fucking thing. Even in their
Yeah.
interviews, hey Biggie, what do you see some 10 years? He's like, shh, man, I
Mm-hmm.
can't see it. I'm like, nah, nigga, see that shit.
But
Yep.
in the case of Tupac, if he didn't die in Vegas, I believe he was going to die eventually.
Yeah. I feel like he was gonna die anyway.
Because like he kept making so many self-destructive
Yeah.
decisions, and
Illuminati.
like sometimes there's people that they like no matter how hard they try, like sometimes they just can't fight destiny. Like
Right.
some people just going to meet a violent death
Mm-hmm.
because for whatever reason they were destined not to live they were destined
Right.
to live to old age.
Right.
Maybe Biggie would have been alive, but I couldn't see Tupac living
Yeah.
to his 30s.
I don't think
considering
I wasn't shocked when he died. Like it was sad, but I wasn't shocked. But the Biggie murder was really shocking. I didn't expect that to
I ain't
happen
gonna
at all.
hold you, yo. I wasn't shocked when Pac died, but after Pac died, unfortunately, I wasn't shocked when he died too because the shit was that serious. And on top of that, he in LA. Yo, Big,
Right.
I don't give a fuck. Yo, Biggie shouldn't have been in fucking LA, yo. I don't give a
Exactly.
fuck.
He should have been in
I'm
London.
sorry, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, yo.
True.
You know what I mean? That's why I don't like going back to Cali, man, because that's how he fucking died. That's real
Right.
shit. Like I don't like that, man. Like, nah.
so if you so like say you were like the executive, like say you were like the A&R or or in charge of the project, and you're in charge of promoting life after death. How would you get Biggie to promote the album without having to relive all of that old conflict with Tupac?
Well, one, search you can't escape, but listen, you can still prepare. Here's the thing. I wouldn't have Big in LA. First of all, Biggie already became global. So I
Yeah.
could really say, nigga, we don't even need LA, nigga. All right, we
Right.
can have some records in the record stores. Yeah, but other than that, we don't need him there now. And Pac died? Shit, come
Facts.
on, man. And it's bad enough if the rumor had something that he had something to do with it. Nah, man, fuck that. Like, just keep it a buck, nigga. On the fucking streets of the East Coast, we was hearing that they had something to do with that shit, knowing they didn't. But we knew they didn't. Everybody knew that shit was cat.
Right.
I remember Biggie in Newark at Faith's baby shower or some shit like that. He outside smoking, right? He outside
Mm.
smoking shit, right? My cousin Ron, was around there and shit. He outside smoking. Little kid walking to the truck like, yo, I know you killed Tupac. He's like, what? You know what I mean? He just laughed and shit, like because it's a little kid, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
other than that, we all know Biggie had nothing to do with that shit. But at the end of the day, just because the way that shit was cooking up, and then all of a
Mhm.
sudden Pac died, he didn't need to be there, yo.
Yeah.
I get it. You know what I mean? Y'all trying to promote, but nigga, fuck that nigga. I would have had a Biggie on a fucking screen via
Right.
satellite, nigga. Fuck all
Facts.
that. That interview with the radio
Yeah.
station, that'd have been a phone call, my nigga. Man,
And
fuck all
they
that.
were also mixing No Way Out in Cali. So that's also why he was out there.
Man, let me tell you something, man. Pop was bugging. I don't listen. Nah, he should have been in Cali. I don't care. He should have been in
Right.
Cali.
I
You know what I
agree.
mean?
He went to London.
Then that ride when he rode through Cali in the fucking. First of all, you rolling in Cali, my nigga.
Uh-huh.
You in Cali and motherfuckers still want you. Just want to say you had something to do with it so they can have a reason. And
Right.
you ride with no security with a drop top in
Crazy.
fucking LA, my nigga.
Crazy.
Oh hell no. So that fueled the fire, yo.
Yep.
He could have got shot there.
Yep.
I think
You know,
I think the greed of Bad Boy is part of the reason why Biggie was killed. Because like Ray is saying, you can do phone interviews,
Right.
right? There's a way that you can promote the album and maximize sales without endangering your artist. Like I get it, to the record label and to those involved, like getting out on the West Coast swing, that's a lot of money to make. But like Loaded Lux said, is your money being long worth your lifespan getting shorter? Like it's better like to sacrifice some money in the short term and then play the long game.
I
yeah,
agree.
he was better off going there when Pac was alive. That's something. Now, if Pac was alive, that's something different. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because Pac
Right.
used don't get it twisted. Because Pac used to come over to the East Coast a lot. Now, let's reverse the roles for a split second, right? Say if Biggie got killed first,
Right.
you think Sugar had Pac out in fucking New York like that? I
Nope.
don't think so.
Nope.
Hell no, I don't think so. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like hell no, Pac wouldn't be able to come back to the East Coast for a long time, my nigga, a
Facts.
long time.
Well, I don't know. I
But
feel
he had
like
people say though. That's the thing.
Huh?
He had people say Wu Tang was down with him. Boot Camp Clan.
And Biggie had people in Cali.
But you know
Mm.
what though? The thing to consider is that at the time that Biggie was would have been killed, Tupac still had some outstanding beef in New York City, particularly from the
Exactly.
quiet studio shooting. So if he
They
had,
they
so,
shot
so
nigga
if he
too.
went to, so if he would have went to New York, there would have been people that would have been looking to. There would have been people rubbing their hands to get
Yeah.
at Tupac.
Exactly.
Yeah, hell
Like
yeah.
Junior Mafia.
Oh, and also they and those people they didn't forget everything that Tupac said about Biggie
Right.
or other artists from New York City.
Facts.
Yeah, but like I said, I can't front on with like I
I,
said, but with most respect to both of them, man. Like I said, it's an unfortunate story the way
yeah.
it ended. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, them young niggas made history. And I say young niggas because we don't
Yeah.
realize until we become older that they was only fucking 24, 25, man.
Facts.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like, yo, Pac did so much within
Right.
6 years, and he was locked up a whole year out of them
A whole
six
year.
years.
Yep.
A whole year. And that nigga just got a lot of shit done,
In
yo.
six
Like,
months.
yeah, man. And on some real shit, yo. Back in high school, yo. Pac knew he was gonna be a big star since before he graduated high school. He knew he was gonna be a big star. He knew it.
Right.
He just all he needed was that shot.
Yeah.
If you watch the damn Mama documentary,
Hmm.
that was one of my favorite documentaries last year, yo.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't, yo,
Good.
that shit was raw, yo. Oh my god, that
Yeah,
shit was raw.
It
I
was.
was
That
I was watching there's a Biggie documentary and they showed where there was some jazz musician on the block that mentored Biggie, and he mentored Biggie about breath control and using syncopation vocally, and then
Mhm.
add that with Biggie's, rhyming.
Right.
So just to see where Biggie came from, and then listen to Victory, it's like he had graduate. It's like he had got his master's.
Right.
And just imagine had he been able to do songs with Big Pun or
Oh yeah.
Cannabis.
Crazy.
yeah, he like I said, like that dude was one of the illest on the R&B shit, man. I'm still listening to that old school shit with him and R. Kelly.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Classic.
That nigga killed that shit. Yeah, yo. Like far as like an R&B
Yeah.
verse.
Yep.
What he said? He said, fuck he said, forget it. Y'all y'all taking her word like a Quran. Y'all stay friends. I stay in smoke filled Benzes.
Mm.
That nigga crazy, yo,
Yeah,
real shit, yo. And he had humor too, man. That's what made
yeah,
Biggie special, man. He had humor, yo.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially like on I Got a Story to Tell. It was
Crazy.
humorous. Even though it was
Yeah,
some real shit, it
real
was
shit.
humorous.
I do you even one better. Like even though Diddy's singing is horrible, like Biggie's parts on "Play Your Hater" is
Oh
hilarious.
God, I never
Love
liked that
player
song,
hater.
yo.
I love player
Yo,
hater.
I
yo,
never liked that song.
if there's a way
Player
to edit,
hater.
if there's a way like to do an edit and get rid of Diddy's part,
Yeah,
just keep the Biggie parts. It's a far hilarious
maybe that's
song.
why I don't like it because Diddy
You know,
singing on there.
you know what? I'm not gonna hold you. Diddy's part added to the song, just the hilarity of it. That's one of the
Oh
few
God,
times I'll accept Diddy.
Lord.
No, like to me, like to me, there are two songs that Diddy completely butchered to the like to the white meat. One is
Wow.
"Play Your Hater," and
Uh.
the other is his part on "Dolly My Baby."
Oh God, he was bad. His verse was awful.
On what
Yo,
song?
like on
Dolly, my
"Dolly My
baby, the
Baby" with
remix.
Super Cat.
Oh
He was bad.
God.
Man,
When he
He
was
was
trying to
bad.
rap
yo,
like the Fushnikins?
yo, who was the other dude that was on that track?
Third Eye.
That was Jesse Third Eye West.
Yo, man, that dude, like that. I don't know who was worse, him or Diddy.
Hold on, wait a minute. Third Eye's verse was a
Wow.
classic. Let's be
Oh
real.
man.
But they should have had Heavy D. They should have had Heavy D on that beat.
Yeah, Heavy D was
Yeah,
on fire.
that would have been better.
Like Blue Funk Heavy D. Come on, man. Don't
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yo,
but Puffy.
when
It's the
Biggie
bad
said,
boys, no. Acting like you want. I was like, what the fuck?
yo, it was like terrible Jamaican patois.
Right.
Like Biggie D even dropped a full 16 and he still had the best verse in the whole song.
Yeah.
Yo,
I love it when you
he
call
say
me
something
Big
about
Pop.
his larynx.
Yeah.
Yo, like Biggie's flow when he went into that he mentioned in the larynx.
Hmm.
Yo, man, like Biggie, like to me, that was when I knew Biggie was going to be, a problem for other
But
MCs.
but for that joint, but like
Because I like that verse more than Party and Bullshit.
what
Same.
wasn't I think Reggie told me that like Biggie's voice was still maturing then. That's why he sounds different.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell. He sounds younger on that song.
Because by like late 93, when Bad Boy actually got his actual studio, Puffy made him smoothing out his shit. That's why
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
early Biggie, when he was and had a more Jamaican style
Yeah.
compared to like the Big Papas and the everyday struggles and shit.
Yeah.
When he was on Uptown Records.
Right. He sounds different.
Yeah, I think when he was on Uptown, I think it like I may be wrong, but I think Andre Harrell gave him enough. He gave him the room to be himself and be hardcore.
Mm.
But once Puffy lost the label deal with Andre Harrell, Puffy helped him, mold his eventual style.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what's one Puffy song, one Puffy appearance that always makes me laugh?
Mm.
What's that?
Mace's Jealous Guy.
Oh Lord. I
And
don't
you,
like
you
that
know,
song either.
and you know the story. You know the story with that
Nah.
song. That was
What
that was
happened
a
with him?
song. That was a song that made Mace become a preacher because he was actually known for being a side nigga to drug dealers' girlfriends or some shit. So one drug dealer
Right.
was after him. That's why he moved
Right.
to Atlanta.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Loki, that song is funny as hell though.
Yo,
That song always skipped Harlem on Harlem Road.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you, like at the time, I did not like Harlem World,
Right.
and I've listened to Harlem World a couple years ago,
Mm.
and it's not as bad of an album as I thought it was, but I think it was because those singles were so omnipresent. It was
Yeah.
and to Bad Boy's credit, they made hits.
Yeah.
So I judge Harlem World as an album from what I heard on the radio.
But you got it. If you didn't like Harlem World, you definitely not gonna like Double Up. That's that's one of his worst albums.
Yo,
That shit
bro,
was bad.
yo, like I heard, Double Up, and I felt like, man, this is like some terrible. Like if this is on the like this should have stayed on the cutting room floor.
Facts.
And you know, like I feel like Mace. I mean, Mace in '97, he did what Big L couldn't do.
Mm.
So
Yeah, but Big L wasn't marketed as a
Yeah, man,
pretty
Big L
boy
ain't had
artist.
opportunity that Mace had either, though, bro. Real shit. Like,
Right.
if it, I mean, real talk, Big L. But here's the thing: Big L was a stepping stone for Mace.
Right.
Children of Corn. Who introduced the streets of Children of Corn was Big L.
Yeah.
So you can't compare someone that put you on. You know what I'm saying? Real talk.
And he was on a major label. He was on Columbia Records.
Who?
Big L, but they didn't know how to promote him.
You know, the Columbia barely promoted Illmatic. Illmatic
Yeah.
promoted itself, yo.
Yeah,
Real
that's
shit.
true.
They barely. Yo, the most hip hop I've seen them promote, as far as Columbia, was the Fugees. And look what happened.
but you know,
IoT.
but you know what though? But you know, can I ask y'all a question?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like Columbia, they gave Nas and the Fugees a second album. Imagine if they would have gave Big L a second album.
But you gotta understand, Big L would need a Steve Stout for that, though. That's what I'm saying. Nas had a Steve Stout. He needed that dude from the hood that's in these big offices and in the rooms that make it happen. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he believed in Nas more than anybody. You know what I'm saying? As far as to take him to that level.
But see, if he was about to get signed to Rockefeller is technically under Columbia Records with Def Jam. So he would have. Yeah.
No, I'm about to say that's a different story right there.
Right.
Like Rockefeller would have took Big L on a Just Blaze beat.
Yep.
That's a wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. Like you like in order for Big L to turn that commercial corner, had it been on Columbia, he would have needed somebody in the building that would know how to put the what's the saying? Put the medicine in the candy.
Yeah.
like find like a sound for Big L that stayed true to who he is, but could broaden his base beyond Harlem.
Yeah.
You know what, Rock? I'm gonna keep 100 with you, Rock. I think we're about to witness that now. Real talk. All right, check this out. I think, and quote me, I could be wrong, but I think what Maskell is trying to do is make it like if Big L was alive. Meaning, this is one of the best times in hip hop. Why I say that? Because to me, it's another golden era. Why? Because more real shit is back, and you got more motherfuckers that you. First of all, shit is global and it's marketed like a major or whatever, and the shit just get where it need to be, and it don't have to be commercial. Griselda put a stamp on that game. Nas trailblazed the legends in this era. With he was like, yo, he said, yo, I'll challenge y'all legends, yo. He said, don't fuck with the trends, just get back to the art and do y'all watch what happened. And look what happened. Fucking the Woo niggas is back. Ray and Ghost. Meth been picking up shit. You got Muddy Waters too, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like real shit. And if Big L is alive, this is a bigger era for him because his name with the clout, and then like some dope ass beats behind his lyrics, because that's what separated him from like his era. So when I watched the Woo show, I seen they had Big L, Nas, and Fat Joe and Biggie, because that was the era of '95 with Ray and Ghost. Okay, cool. But what the thing is, he didn't have the level of, no disrespect, but he didn't have the level of production that they had. His production was hip hop, but compared to their shit, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't. You get what I'm saying? Think about the production of like a Mobb Deep album, Purple Tape, AZ. You know what I'm saying? Fat Joe, Biggie. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean?
He would have had to. I mean, he had like Lord Finesse and Showbiz, Diamond D do his beats, but they would have to step their game up.
But the irony is that Lord Finesse produced Suicidal Thoughts.
For Biggie.
From Ready to Die.
Lord Finesse, Lord Finesse, my nigga. Actually, Lord Finesse bought out Big L. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Like like I said, Lord Finesse that nigga. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I always pay homage to him. Matter of fact, yo, I'm gonna keep 100 with you. I thought what's his name was down with not Big L, Lord Finesse when he first dropped. It ain't hard to tell.
Oh, Nas?
That shit sound like Big L influence,
Yeah.
yo. It do. It ain't hard to tell. I excel, then prevail. The mic
Right.
is contacted. I attract clientele. That's some Lord Finesse shit right there, yo.
Right.
Especially,
The only thing is, like, Big L's flow is a little bit faster than Nas's.
Yeah.
see,
Well,
Big
like,
L got like a Lord Finesse and Big Daddy Kane put together.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Like
Hey,
you
don't
could
try.
tell Papoose was influenced by Big L. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
yo, I always felt like Big L was a battle rapper that was in the industry.
He would have been good as a battle rapper.
Yo,
Oh,
like,
man.
are y'all familiar with K Shine, the battle rapper?
Nah, I never
Yeah,
heard
yeah,
of
yeah.
it.
I know K-Shine. That's my nigga.
Yo, like, I feel like,
Dot Mob.
yeah, I feel like K Shine, like, he's like the like if Big L was a rapper in like in the smack era, that's what he would be, because Big L, like K Shine, was a skinny little dude with the heart of a lion. He was scared of no one, and K Shine is the same way. And if you look at battle rap, Harlem has some of the greatest battle rappers ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Clips,
that's true. Mook.
Murder Mook, Loaded
Yep.
Lux, T Rex.
Yep.
Hope he gets better.
Yeah.
Hey, don't try.
Yo.
I gotta go talk to my cousin right quick, but
All right.
thank you so much for having me. It's been a
No
pleasure
doubt.
talking to y'all, chopping it up and shit. I'm gonna text you a little later and shit like that
All right.
too. But hope y'all all hold it down. Peace.
Oh, Kenny Mack said, Jim Jones, put the pipe down, please. That's funny. Salute to Kenny Mack. Subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, but I think I like what it's clear that Mass Appeals, what they're trying to do is build a company of established
Artist.
veterans and artists
Right.
that unquestionable respect from the
Yeah.
culture.
I agree.
And if Big L was alive, I could see a
Well,
lot of producers
they got a new Big L album coming out on Mass Appeal. So
like, I want to know, is it all new vocals?
yeah, like well, that's what I'm saying. Because I mean, as far as I know, he didn't have a lot of unreleased stuff laying around.
If Lord Finesse ain't part of, well, no, I take that back.
You said Big L?
If
Yeah, there's a new Big L album coming out.
if Mass Appeal is involved, I know it's legit. I'm just curious, like how, like is like how much involvement does Lord Finesse have?
Right. I don't know.
Because if Lord Finesse, because when I think of Big L, I immediately think of Lord Finesse.
Yeah.
I'll be honest though. Hey yo, when it comes to that whole Mass Appeal lineup, I'm real excited about it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But you know, the one I'm anticipating the most out of all of them is the
Oh, yeah.
Mobb Deep album.
Oh.
I ain't gonna hold you because, yo, you got Mobb Deep,
Mm-hmm.
you got Nas, Noid, Alchemist.
Yep.
That's all I need.
Yep.
That's it. That's all you need.
Alchemist. I just seen a post today. Alchemist is coming out with Alfredo 2 with Freddie Gibbs.
Yo, they got to do that. Yo, Freddie, get back to it, man. Fuck
He is
that
everywhere.
bullshit.
Like this
That
dude.
Alfredo
I'm like, yo,
oh my
Alchemist
God.
is like the busiest man ever.
Yo, he one of my favorite producers too.
Definitely.
Hold up. I ain't gonna hold you. He
You
definitely
got
made
the
that
Erica
list.
Badu album dropping.
Oh
You got
my God,
Mobb
that shit gonna
Deep,
be tough.
the Freddie Gibbs joint. You got the what's the other joint you got coming out this year? It's another joint you got coming out this year.
Who,
He
Bully
doing an
James
album
or?
with Future. You got an album with
Oh
Future
my
coming out.
God.
Yeah. Crazy. I'm just curious to hear that because I've never listened to Future and I just want to hear how you sound over Alchemist beats.
I'm gonna tell you what influenced that. How 2 Chainz sound.
Yeah.
2 Chainz, I'm gonna be honest. I fucked with Larry June.
Yeah.
But 2 Chainz went in on that album.
Oh yeah. He did.
Mm-hmm.
He sounded good on that. And I even liked him on the Collie Grove album with him and Wayne.
Oh yeah.
That was some heat on it.
I'll listen to that again though, but I did
Yeah.
hear it.
Yeah, that was fire. I'm like, yo, two chains. I like the fact that he's using other producers and going out of his comfort zone.
Hey, no word on that Wayne album. So y'all got me
I didn't
scared to
listen to
finish
it.
listening
I
to it.
didn't hear it.
I heard
Yo,
the first half, but I'm scared to listen to it because
Yeah. I was over Wayne after Carter 4, really. Like after Carter 4, I was like, he ain't really dropped nothing good that I liked since like the No Ceilings mixtape. And that was like what, 2010, 2011? But I was already over him, and like, nobody. It got like a lot of negative reviews.
I'm not a Wayne fan at all, so I didn't listen to the
Right.
album. Period.
Yeah. They were pretty. I know Joe Budden have reviewed it, and they were saying like it's pretty much the same thing that he did on the last couple of Carter albums. It was nothing different. He just had like different features. He had Bono from U2 on one track, and there was no Drake, there was no Nicki on there. You
Yo, man, like mentioning her name, like I don't know, like apparently, like I don't know how real it is, but apparently she has a bone to pick with Jay-Z
yeah,
for
I
some
heard that too.
reason.
It's this go back to not picking Wayne for the Super Bowl performance. That's what that's about. Because she had Wayne's back when all that was going on, and she feel like Jay-Z slighted him. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like this is the Super Bowl. This is like a different audience you performing for. Like, this is not they're not rap fans. You know what I'm saying, for that audience. And so it's like what songs would Lil Wayne perform at the Super Bowl anyway? Right? You can't do
I mean,
Lollipop at the Super Bowl.
I'm not even a Wayne fan, but the only
Right.
song that I could think of is 6 foot, 7 foot.
Right, but other than that, he would have to bring on other artists to perform with him because he don't have like a squeaky clean, catalog of songs where he could perform for that Super Bowl audience. You know what I'm saying? It's not like see, Kanye, as nutty as Kanye is, Kanye got the hits that he could perform at the Super Bowl, but they would never have him there.
I think the hypest person that would be happy that Wayne is performing at the Super Bowl, Skip Bayless.
Probably. That's true. But it's like, but he have like the raunchiest type of songs. It's like you can't perform prostitution slang at the Super Bowl.
beat it like a cat.
You know what I'm saying?
Beat it like a
Or
cat.
Mrs. Officer, like you can't do
Nah,
those songs
can't.
there.
I think that was, I mean, honestly, yo, bro, I think that was part of the decision why they can't have him, yo. Real
Right.
shit. They had to analyze all that shit. Like,
Yeah.
they same conversation we having.
Mhm.
They probably had that shit in their office.
Yeah.
Real
What
shit.
songs can he do? He can't do no songs at the Super Bowl that's clean.
No. It's nothing that clean.
And the fucked up part is that Nicki Minaj herself, she would have a better
Yes.
she would have
She had
better
the song.
odds performing at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, she had the song. She have Starships. You got Your Love. You got Super Bass. She got the songs for that audience. Lil Wayne don't. So that's how I'm looking at it. Like I feel like that's the main reason why they didn't pick him, because he don't have those songs for that audience.
And if I know there's rumors. The rumors are swirling that Jay-Z is going to perform the halftime show himself. If that is true, I mean, I could see Nicki Minaj going nuclear.
Of course,
she gonna hit the roof.
Of course she would. And I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, I was waiting at some point Jehovah was gonna do it.
But like what songs, like if you could like create his set list for the Super Bowl halftime show, what would it be?
I would definitely do Empire State of Mind. And I mean, he got so many, man. He got so many. I was like, where do you begin? It's like, do you begin at Reasonable Doubt or Volume 2 or Blueprint? You know what I mean? Like, he got so many, and he's not gonna. I mean, if he does perform, he'll probably bring out people, I would think. I don't know if he's gonna do it by himself.
Who that?
Jay-Z. Yeah.
Hov gonna come out to allow me to reintroduce
Yeah,
myself. My name is Hov.
right.
Yes.
You do it. You
H
do
to
that.
the OZ.
Yeah,
He's the most known face by the OZ.
you know.
Yep, he gonna come out like that, and then he
Right.
gonna then he gonna get on some then he gonna gonna say shit like call out injustice shit.
Uh-huh.
Watch,
You
But
think
like,
so?
watch. Hell yeah.
You make it political?
Listen, it's first of all Jay Z stepping on stage, so that's political enough.
Right.
But I know he already involved. You know what I mean? So.
Mhm.
Mhm.
but Ray, you know a
Mhm.
song that he has to do. It will go over with the Super Bowl audience.
Mhm.
You don't know,
Mm.
like man, like just those organs
Yeah.
and just that beat alone.
Yeah.
He can do that first verse and then transition to something else. But that song is made for a stadium.
What song?
I.
You don't know from the Blueprint.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. In 18 months, 80 million more. Now add the
Mm.
number up with the one I said before. You are now looking at one smart black boy. Man, hell yeah.
I agree. Yeah. You got too
Um,
many anthems. You know.
listen, man, he can't Kendrick did what Kendrick do? What?
Yeah.
Kendrick take over.
Yeah, I think he did all songs from his PG Lane catalog.
Yeah. He did a lot of stuff from GNX.
Yeah, but Hov can't do takeover.
Yeah. You know. And Kendrick had a message in his performance.
Oh, you know Hov will.
You know what I
You know
mean?
he will.
But I think if I don't think Jay would do like a. I don't think his political message would be totally overt.
Right.
I think it would be subliminal where we would get it,
Hmm.
but
Everybody else
to,
win.
but to white people, they're
Right.
going to be confused, and it's going to be like it's going to be exactly what Kendrick accomplished.
Do you think he performs by himself, or does he bring out somebody with him?
I think he'll have guests, but
Right.
I think it's going to be closer to like Beyonce.
Hmm. But we've seen her already. She's been on there like 3 times already.
Um,
You know, like I was thinking more like, did we see like a state property come out and they do what we do or something like that?
That'd be
I mean,
fire.
I mean, I mean that. I mean that would be.
Too hood.
Probably.
But you know what though? Like, it depends on how Beanie Siegel's voice feels.
That's
Like,
true.
Hold up. Hold
Let
up.
me.
Hold up. Hold up.
yeah.
Hold up. Hold up.
Mm-hmm.
You think on the Super Bowl they're gonna allow we still hustle till the sun come up, crack a 40 when the
Nah,
sun go
I
down?
know,
It's
I
a
know.
cold winter. Come on.
Hey!
But
Did you see how that song rang off at the NBA game?
That's
Like
NBA, bro.
when
I'm,
Freeway was in attendance,
that's true.
a
I'm
lot of people were singing that word for word.
I'm gonna tell you though, this weekend at Rock the Bells, they're having the state property reunion. I would
Man,
not be
I'm sick.
surprised if Jay-Z showed up. I would not be surprised.
I'm sick, yo. Fuck.
You know what
I
I
mean,
mean?
but you know what though?
Yeah.
Like, say if it isn't what we do, what
Uh-huh.
about you, me, him, and her?
Mm. That's too good for
And
the Super Bowl too.
What's that?
you,
The
me,
you, me,
him,
him,
and
and her joint.
The who?
You, me, him, and her from the Dynasty album.
Oh, you mean B and J?
Yeah. With no, the joint with a mill was on that
Beans
joint.
Bleak.
Yeah.
Oh, done told y'all. Would you
Yeah.
believe Jigga
Yeah,
Man,
that's still too good for the Super Bowl.
foes not the
But you know
man with
what?
the
Though?
polo sweater?
I think Jay could get away with it considering he
Right.
has a certain amount of sway and
That's true.
influence
That's
with
true.
the league.
Yeah, that's true.
Because because I could think of one other song with with the original rock that could
Uh-huh.
go over well.
Right. Rock the mic. What about that
No,
one?
not
No.
what's the song with damn with Emil, J Beans, and Bleak? Uh,
The
damn, what's the name of that?
Dynasty. Was it the pop? Not Papa Rock. No, you talk. That was on the Mill album.
Yeah, I
That
can't.
joint.
Damn, what's the name of that song?
That Dynasty joint.
Uh,
You think he would do that
for the fam,
for the
for the
fam?
fam.
Right. Yeah. Mm.
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
That was a fire joint.
Yo, think about that. Like, think how it starts. Dun da da dun, and you have like a marching band play
Yeah.
that.
Oh
I
yeah,
hope
yeah.
they doing
True.
that.
True. What about Can I Get It with Ja Rule? You bring out Ja Rule for that?
Yeah,
Maybe. And
But
that's something
Ja
like
Rule
that.
got hits too. Like I'm surprised they ain't asked Ja Rule yet.
You don't know that. I can
You
see him
know?
bringing out Ja Rule, yo.
Yeah.
me too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think because Can I Get It was such a big hit. Not only
Yeah.
was it a hit, it was a pop hit.
Yep.
It ain't even a question. Hold up.
Facts.
Soon as your whole be like, yo, Ja, you gonna do this
Yeah.
Rock the Bells? I mean not Rock the Bells, Super Bowl.
Yep.
It ain't even a question. How about no flow?
And and,
Facts.
and you know what would make it even more significant?
Uh,
What a more beautiful way to pay tribute to Irv Gotti
yeah. I was just
than
thinking
to
the
do
same thing. Yeah. That's true.
Exactly. They ain't
Yeah.
rap about it. They ain't rap about it. Pay homage to
Facts.
Irv Gotti at the Super Bowl.
Yep.
hmm
Facts.
because without Irv, I mean, just think without Irv Gotti, man, DMX never would have signed to
I'm
Def
just thinking
Jam.
about that. I'm like, yo, like they could ask Ja Rule and Ashanti to perform in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. Always there when you
Yeah.
call. Yeah. Yeah.
Mesmerize and always on time. Down for you. They got joints.
Yeah, you know the thing of, I mean, the thing that I can, the thing that's lost. I mean, not lost, but if
Hmm.
you look back at Murder Inc.'s run,
Hmm.
considering the odds they were up against, like their run was nothing short of amazing and a miracle.
Right.
I mean, like look at how much competition they faced,
Yeah.
and look how much Irv Gotti, look how many hits Irv Gotti wrote and
With
produced
and they
for
were
the
doing it with
industry.
just two artists that was coming out on their roster.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like they had a whole roster slew of artists that never dropped. It was only about Ja Rule and Ashanti.
I always like Cadillac Todd, man, like Pop City Anthem, man.
Yeah, that was fire.
They should have dropped an album right
Definitely.
after that.
Yeah. They had Charlie Baltimore album ready to go and they shelved it. You know what I'm saying? Vita, her album was ready, never dropped. Black Child, I was waiting for Black Child album to come out.
Oh yeah, I
Yo,
watched the doc
Mhm.
or the Murder Inc. documentary.
Yeah.
That shit even more. It hit different after he passed away though.
Yep.
oh yeah, man, cause like his number one, his energy, his passion,
Mhm.
like even like there's a part in the documentary like years after Irv Gotti and his brother won the uh, the Fed case, and he
Right.
was trying to build new artists.
Did they win that case?
Yeah, they beat the
Come on,
well
the Fed case? Hell yeah, they won.
yeah they
Oh, I
beat
didn't
the
know
case.
that.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
the case the government was trying to prove that Irv Gotti was laundering money
Right.
for
Supreme.
Supreme, but
But they just using the freeze the assets so Supreme can't have no money behind his defense though. That was that whole strategy it was about.
Right.
exactly
So
they were trying to prevent Supreme from having any access to money to build.
after that trial, did Gotti lost the deal with Def Jam, right?
No,
Yeah.
he had a new deal. It was like they renamed the label from Murder Inc. to the Inc.
The ain't yeah.
Right.
And they put
Okay.
out Lloyd's album,
Right.
and they were trying to. Y'all remember News?
Nah.
Yeah, I remember news.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
rapper, you mean?
I thought News. Like I felt
News.
News. I felt like News had potential.
I don't even
Like
remember, dude.
Yeah, I seen him on the Smack DVDs and shit.
it.
Wow.
You know what I'm
Um,
talking about, right?
yeah, I know you're talking
News.
about.
like I felt like I think because of the circumstances, if it was under better circumstances, I think News would have had a better shot. But
Mm,
by then, in 2005 and '06, the music industry had changed,
yeah,
and News, I couldn't see News like doing something for the radio.
right.
Yeah, he was raw like Cadillac Ty them niggas, you know what I'm saying? Black Child, you know what I'm saying? Um nah, he was raw, but yeah, that should be dope, man. If you have if
Right?
Hove have Ja Rule Murder Inc. out there, that would make sense any damn way,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
As far as
yeah.
like if you have guests, shit, nigga might even bring out Nas. You never
Right?
know. You know what I'm
Right?
saying?
Right?
The whole good for that shit.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
And I
Wow.
think like like Ray say, like I think Jay he has the pulse on what's happening,
Mm,
that he could do a halftime show that pays tribute to Irv Gotti
right,
and still play the hits that we all want to hear,
right.
because at the end of the day, like you can't deny what that man accomplished.
Who
Facts.
Herb, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Irv.
I agree.
Yo,
I mean,
word is born, yo.
I
in
agree.
the last 10 years of his life, he was the subject of jokes,
Yeah,
but he put in the work.
I agree.
That's undeniable.
But for him to make so much money and compete with having a label with just two artists going platinum, that's it. And
Yo,
he's battling Rockefeller and Rough Riders and this, Cash Money, and it was crazy.
he
But you know what
he
though?
was.
They was low key a continuation of Bad Boy, yo. Murder Inc. He
Mhm.
Yeah.
marketed like a darker Bad Boy
I,
because they
I
was
was
about having
thinking it was.
fun.
I always thought he was more influenced to Death Row and Suge Knight
Yo, on some real shit. If you think about
Maybe
it, Murder Inc. is Death Row and Bad Boy put together,
put
yo.
together. Yeah,
Word is born, yo. They about having fun, but they
yeah,
still talk that gangster shit, but they about having fun. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Like how and that party shit, they started going to that party era, you know what I mean?
right, right,
And with Ja Rule and he
mm,
started like singing a little more and shit, you know what I'm
right,
saying? And then them producing for J Lo and whoever was hot around the time and shit
right.
like that. So
Yeah,
Eve, you know what I mean?
yep,
So they definitely, made their mark. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And
Facts,
again, timeless hits.
facts.
That's why Ja back on the road now. And on top of
Yeah,
that too, bro, it be
mm,
certain music I listen to. Remember that song called Pregame by Source
yeah.
Money
yeah.
Jay-Z.
and Jay-Z?
Yeah,
Yo, I don't know if he produced it or not, but when I hear like music from like Belly or the Rough Riders and
mm,
DMX, like pre-Murder Inc. era,
yeah.
I think about Irv, yo.
Oh yeah.
Word up.
That was. I think Primo did that one.
No, I'm just saying like just around
Yeah.
that era, cause
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
cause Irv, remember Irv is the one that bought Def Jam back, and he bought Rough Riders and motherfucking Rockefeller at the
Right,
same time, and
right.
X and Hov blew up at the same time, same
Yep,
year. You know
yep.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
you know what I mean. That's why I say you can't even front on old boy. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like he made that happen before Murder Inc. premiered. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like he
Yeah.
bought it back, and then to me, in '99, my favorite album was Vidi Vidi Vici.
Oh yeah. Classic.
Word up. I
And
couldn't
Turntone
front
also
album.
like, huh?
like the collaborations between X,
Mm-hmm.
J, and
Yep.
Ja Rule,
Mm-hmm.
Murdergram, It's
Yeah.
Murder.
Oh, that killed that shit. Oh my
The
god, yo!
OG
If they
Murder
had
Inc.
made at least one album together,
Right?
yo,
That
one
that was the
album,
OG Murder Inc. right there.
that shit would have been the fucking man. Oh my
Crazy,
god, yo! Now that
crazy.
right there, that'd have been tougher to the commission.
And I know they got unreleased joints together.
Yo, that
Mm-hmm.
like I
Or
that's
tougher than the firm.
Yeah.
yo, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
To me, I call that murderous row.
Yeah.
Like in baseball, like murderous row is a batting lineup that's
Mm-hmm.
so powerful that no pitcher can beat them.
Right.
Like just between Ja, Hove, and X,
Yeah.
like that's all of those artists go multi-platinum.
Crazy.
Have it did an album, it definitely would have been better than the commission.
Oh yeah.
Because outside of Hove and Big, nobody in the connection had the name recognition that
Yeah,
they
yeah.
had.
Charlie was like still a new artist,
Yeah,
you know.
and yeah, Cam and Charlie Baltimore, they were like
Yeah,
rookies, but
yeah.
these cats are on the same playing field,
Hmm.
and it would have had the potential to be even bigger than the firm, no doubt
Crazy.
about it.
Sure.
Yeah, like I said, that era, man. He created a whole era. Like I said
Right.
before, Murder Inc. era.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That was that strong. Like Hard Knock Life wouldn't be what it. The tour wouldn't be what it was without him.
Fact.
Cause he put that together,
Oh yeah.
and he brought Def Jam back after. Cause they was kind of like in the
Yeah.
clouds until the smoke cleared between the whole Bad Boy Death Row,
Right.
and that's when the Rise of No Limit and
Hmm. Cash
cause
money.
Real Talk, huh?
Can't cash money.
Yeah, then Cash Money came along. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying with Juvenile at the forefront,
Yep.
but as far as Hard Knock Life, like look, is what Herb brought to the table. That was even though Red and Meth was still that's all they had.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And also they like Irv Gotti, the way that he was able to bring Def Jam back to prominence after the deaths of Tupac and Biggie, like hardcore hip hop was selling again, selling out arenas,
Hmm.
and it was all because of the work that he did. From the beats to the administrative work to seeing the the recording processes of all of those albums all the way. That took. I'm sure he was working
Right.
20-hour days, and he did all of that in probably what 2 or 3 years.
Hmm.
Like his drive is something that should be studied.
Fact. I agree. No. Like now you don't really see like a roster of artists on the label like that anymore. I mean, like Griselda really was like the last ones.
Like
Mm.
I think like the only thing that could come close to it, it's not it's not exactly on the money
Mm.
in terms of dynamic, but maybe Eminem, Dr. Dre, and 50.
Right.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was man.
Even,
That nigga Dre been through dynasties.
right.
NWA, Death Row era, the pre aftermath era with the firm,
Right.
then fucking M and 50 and Game and Kendrick, man,
Hmm. Yeah.
Dre beats and shit, man.
Yeah.
Yo, free that nigga, bro.
And he still had artists that never came out. He had, having Rakim and Joel Ortiz and King T, Stat Quo. None of these cats dropped. Bishop Lamont.
What's the other dude name? Damn, forgot his
I
name.
mean,
Huh?
Last Emperor from Philly.
Last Emperor, right? Him too. What's the name? John Connor. Yeah.
Yeah,
Raekwon,
and Flint.
only built for Cuban Links 2
Yeah.
was supposed to be
Raekwon.
Dr.
Right.
Dre.
That's right.
Yep, yep. But he let him. He was like, I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And Raekwon came off because that shit was independent,
Right.
but the shit blew up like it was mainstream.
Hmm.
Did you like me and Triborough? We reviewed the Missionary album from Snoop and Dre. Like, did you hear the album, Ray?
Nah, yo, Word is Born. That's one album I ain't gonna lie, I overlooked. That wasn't even on purpose either, man. It was so much shit out.
Right.
So the Dre and Snoop shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Damn, I kind of feel bad now.
It wasn't great though. Like it was like maybe 4 or 5 joints I liked, but the rest of the album it was like, what is this?
Yeah,
You know?
like I did not like uh the last dance with Mary Jane.
Yeah, I didn't
I,
like
I
that.
hated I hated that cover.
You know what?
That they did with
I actually
Jane.
like that, but the thing is, I just felt like they were doing too much because they were cramming a Jelly Roll on there with Tom Petty, and I'm like, what is this? Like
Yo,
a
you know,
country gangster rap track or something?
like when I listened to that album a couple of times,
Yeah.
I felt like Jimmy Iovine was like in that room. Like
Yeah,
hey guys,
yeah,
we gotta include like the white people.
yeah,
Like we gotta get Tom Petty. We
right,
gotta get Jelly Roll. And we gotta do like our version of "Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself" by Sly Stone.
right.
I
I
just
didn't
felt
like that
like
one.
where was Daz at? Like where
Right,
was Rage at? Where was
exactly,
Corrupt at?
exactly. And it wasn't the album that we wanted from Dre and Snoop. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I hope Nas and Primo don't do nothing like that. We don't need Jelly Roll on the Primo track with Nas. Nobody asked for that. You
Yo,
know?
like Dre, when Dre produced Missionary in its entirety, I could not believe just how much work Dre had to do
Yeah,
coaching Snoop.
exactly.
Snoop said out of his own mouth,
Right.
like Dre had to coach me how to rap.
But what did he
Coach
what
you
did
how
he
to
actually
rap?
coach him to do? Because he sounded regular. I'm like, what did he actually coach him to do? I don't get it.
Yo, there's a clip on YouTube showing the behind the scenes of a recording of Missionary, and Dre had Snoop go over a simple line 20
Oh
times.
man, that's crazy.
Like,
It's,
could you imagine as dope as Eminem is? Could you
mhm.
imagine Dre telling Eminem, can you say this line like 50 times,
And he
considering
probably did early on in Eminem's career. Eminem is at the point now where he could produce
not
his
in
own stuff.
2025?
Right. Yeah, M ain't listening to him. I don't. I mean, he might. I don't see it though. I'm like M could fully produce his own stuff now.
I mean, Snoop proudly talks about having ghostwriters.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't see what they promoted it. I'm like, this album is no good. It's like maybe a good 4 or 5 songs that was decent, but nothing like the Chronic and Doggy Style.
Cause I saw like what is it? Who Kid did an interview on Shade 45 with Eminem,
Hmm.
and he asked him would he ever do an album with 50 Cent, and M was like, I wouldn't rule it out. See, the problem
Right,
with that is if they would have did an album together in '03, '04,
right,
'05, yes,
exactly,
I'm with it. But in 2025, like, could you
exactly.
imagine
Hell no.
Eminem rapping like
What
a
did they
million?
what did they go what did they what kind of songs are they gonna bring out now in this
But,
album?
but could you imagine like Eminem rapping a thousand syllables a bar and 50 try like to me to me I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
Like like
Hell
like like,
yeah.
like, like I think like there's
I
some ideas that they sound good, but I just could not imagine 50 because
I want
I
to
can't think of
believe.
the last time 50 had a rhyme that I was like, damn,
Right.
he went
And
there.
and I want to believe that Nas and Primo is gonna give us something special, but it's like I haven't enjoyed nothing from Primo in years. So it's like, is he gonna go to the vaults and bring out unreleased beats for this album, or is he gonna have like actual new beats that's hidden compared to the stuff he did in the last couple years?
Mm.
I ain't gonna front. I think this shit gonna be it's gonna be fire.
Hmm.
But like I said, I'm so content off of that Hit Boy run
Right.
that I'm more anticipating that Mob Deep album. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Cause,
And, and,
cause
and, I, and I think because the roster is so deep that Mobb Deep may very well have the best album
Right.
on Mass Appeal this year.
I don't know.
real shit.
You got clips coming. I like what I'm hearing. You got the Ghostface Free Clientele
Hold, hold,
too.
hold. Clips on Master Bill?
Yeah.
Oh shit, it's a
No, no, no,
wrap.
no, no. My bad. No, my bad. My bad. That's a different. They on Rock Nation. My bad. But the Mass Appeal release schedule has Supreme Clientele Part 2. So that's
That's
gonna be
gonna be like
dropping.
next week, right? That's like a couple weeks or
I
some
don't.
shit
I
like
ain't
that.
hear nothing from the album. It was supposed to drop last week.
Yeah, they interview, but I ain't gonna lie. I only hear, like you said before, like promoted heavy or whatever. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's more about the Slick Rick right now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But when Supreme
Right.
Clientele 2 drop,
Right.
you know
And
what's
then
next after that?
you got
Raekwon.
Mob, you got De La Soul is part of that Mass Appeal.
Yeah, I sold too. Yeah,
Yeah. You know, you got I think that Nas Supreme are gonna probably drop last.
I think they should.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should. But I
You
ain't gonna
know,
lie. I think Mob Deep should be right before. So you know what I mean? Because
yeah.
I only hear that Mob Deep, like in the order I want to hear.
Hmm.
Only that Mob Deep. Only that De La Soul,
Yeah.
Don't,
the Big
don't forget
L.
Big
Raekwon
L.
got an album coming out with Mass Appeal too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raekwon, Supreme Clientele too, definitely.
Yeah, the Raekwon
That's
joint. I
it.
haven't heard about that.
Yeah, Raekwon got some shit. They had a listening thing for it, but
Uh,
I think that Mob Deep album gonna hit different.
yeah,
It's gonna hit different, yo. You
for
right up,
sure.
and Alchemist
Oh
together
yeah. That's all you need.
with Nas and Big Noy.
Yep.
Come on, Big Noy been holding this shit down on they
Right.
tour, yo.
And they
So
might I mean, I'm assuming they'll have other collabs on the album.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be Nas and then
Yeah.
some thuns up in there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. You have Prodigy daughter on there, maybe?
Oh yeah, she is on the album.
Yeah.
They had it in the studio on Instagram.
Yeah. I saw the picture.
Her Yeah, her Alchemist and Have and
Right.
yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Mobb Deep album has the potential to be better than like. Remember when Gangstar put out
Yeah.
a brand new album of
Right.
new material, one of
That's
the
what I'm
best yet.
saying.
I
That's
think it can be better than that, and
that's
one
what
of
I'm
the best
saying.
yet is
And
Dope.
it's like and those wasn't the best Primo beats. You know what I'm saying? But I think maybe if you give it to Nas, he can make it special.
Yo, and by the way, like Talib Kweli had he had a verse on that album,
Right.
and to be honest with you, I wasn't crazy about it. I felt like somebody like Benny the Butcher or Conway
Right.
what would have been better suited for a beat that grimy
What
and gutter. Like I just
what was the name? The name of that the Gangstar joint from that album? What was it called? Bad Guy or something?
from one of the best yet.
Yeah. That beat was fire.
Uh,
Like if you put Nas on that, Nas would have killed it.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, the name of the song is no, it's called Business or Art.
Okay.
It's
I
called
don't even
Business
remember
or
that
Art.
joint. I heard the album once and that was it. I didn't even like play it again after that.
Yeah, like to me, like if you listen to if you hear the beat for Business or Art, it's a very heavy sounding beat. Like that's a sound that Benny,
Right.
Conway, Bodie James, somebody that can rap about street shit,
Yeah.
they would have bodied that beat.
Facts. I mean, maybe it could be just be maybe Tyler just don't sound good over the Primo beat. You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying? If you look at the hip hop joint or the boom joint that he gave to Royce, Royce destroyed both of those beats.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I think Talib Kweli, like he sounds better over, for lack of a better term, like soulful neo soul kind of
Yeah.
beat. Like think of Stand to the Side from Quality
Mhm.
or some of the joints from The Beautiful Struggle.
Yeah.
Like he does not sound good when he's rhyming over gutter production.
Right. I don't know. Like I love the Black Star album, like the first one. And he had like the boom bap shit, like a lot of the production from like High Tech was like fire.
I mean, whatever happened to High Tech?
I haven't heard nothing from High Tech in a minute.
The last I heard of High Tech was on a G Unit album from I think
Yeah.
it was Beg for Mercy.
Uh-huh.
And that was
Yeah,
what
he was on that. Yeah.
2003 or 04.
He's done stuff since then, but like a major project. I haven't heard nothing from him in a long time.
I felt like High Tech was going to be like a maybe not a superstar producer,
Mm.
but somebody that would have constantly gotten major placements on albums.
I mean, well, he did. That's when he was doing like the G Unit stuff and the bank stuff, and like him and Jake One is another producer that he got a lot. He even said it, like he got a lot of his a lot of business from G Unit.
Yeah,
You know,
you
yeah,
never hear people say that 50 Cent ripped them off though.
facts. I don't hear that. You know,
He just
50
came out people owing him money. That's all.
Yeah, true,
Owing him money.
true,
Yeah,
definitely.
I will say I think Banks he's on a run of his own.
Yes,
But
and this is what we would.
I
Mm,
think the best thing that he ever did was leave G
yeah,
Unit.
he should have been. He should have been did that. Like that's what 50 wanted for him. He wanted him to establish himself as a solo artist. Him and Yayo.
Because I think like Hunger for More too.
I love that.
That's a to me I like that's the second best project to me.
That was fire.
But he's
Definitely.
gotten more introspective.
Yeah, I like Rotten Apple too. I think Rotten Apple was severely slept on.
Yeah, a lot of people paying that album.
Yeah, and Rotten Apple was fire. You know.
Yeah, I want to see like like if you look at Banks' lyrical draft class, he had the most longevity.
Right.
Like what
Definitely.
if you I don't know what J Hood is doing.
Jay Hood. Yo, and Jay Hood, have you seen his podcast on YouTube? Like
Yeah.
everything he talks about is when he used to be on D Block.
Yo, like I like yo
Yeah.
have you like Sheik Luch did an interview.
Mhm.
It was like one of those hood vlogs,
Right.
and Sheik Luch was talking about
Wow.
like the last time you saw J Hood
Mhm.
in the streets, and talking about how he had J Hood running from D Block.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yo, man, I felt like J Hood was nice, but I like
Mm.
this might be a situation the where like the label or like the whoever was in charge of putting out his album didn't know what the hell they were doing.
I know from him. He said there was issues with the Locks not paying him, and they had issues with him, and I don't know what it was. I think it was a combination of both. Like he was so young, and they probably was trying to groom him, as an artist, and he was a knucklehead. He was out in the streets, and there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, but at that time, um, I can. I don't know if I buy I don't know if I buy his story that the Locks wasn't paying him.
Right.
To me that sounds like I could be wrong, but it just sounds like sour grapes.
Mhm.
Because that could be easily proven or disproven.
Facts.
I just think that J Hood, uh, he he was in a situation where he didn't have control over his project,
Uh,
and the buzz that he had in the streets, it wasn't matching what he could do in the industry. And shit, like there's a lot of cats like that. Like
yeah.
I
He
thought Pat
he
Booth was gonna blow too.
he really should have been like the fourth member of the Locks, yo. Like a lot of his freestyles was crazy.
Yo, there were freestyles where I felt like J Hood had better verses than Sheik.
Facts. I agree. You know what I mean? And it's a shame, yo. I'm like, cause he had the potential,
Facts.
you know. But it's like that. It's like when I look at his podcast, it's like he's reliving the past. When you look at Bleak's podcast, he doing the same thing. He's like talking to young Guru about like the good old days. I'm like every Bleak. I'm like, yo, let's be honest. Bleak was like a below average artist, yo. You know what I'm saying?
I think you're being too kind.
I'm. I mean, yo, like he's talking about how he was on tour in Japan and Paris. All that is because of Jay. They know that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you was. It's not like you was on your own world tour in Japan. You
Yeah,
know,
I think Bleak has the arrested. What's that? Is it arrested syndrome or like? I think he's content with just being Jay Z's
average.
nigga. Yeah, like
I'm like, bro.
he's content with just being under Jay Z for the rest
He
of his
dropped a
life.
new album. I don't hear nobody talking about the new album.
He don't even talk about the new album.
I'm like, Bleak, really? Like, come on. Like after all these years, you dropping a new album now? You know, and he's talking about like when him and Beans was supposed to do the album together, and Jay is waiting on the album, and something happened, and he didn't make it clear what happened, but something happened where they didn't do the album. But he's like, oh, but we still got unreleased joints. So you think people want to hear those songs now?
Number one, I think the only person that held up that project was Bleak.
Right.
I can't see
I don't. Yeah, I
Beans
can't see
not
Beans
wanting
doing
to
that.
rap.
You know, and he's talking about when different sessions that he was at that they had to have the weed. Oh, when they went to Japan, and Young Guru is saying how he didn't have weed during the trip, and he's a different person when you don't have weed. I'm like, so what are you now if you if you're not smoking? What are you now? What type of person are you now?
Yeah,
You know, and I just was like, yo, so he's basically reliving his past with like different guests every week. You know what I mean?
yeah, and you know what? Like another thing um, about Bleak on recent interviews, like
Yeah.
he's like when he was on the Breakfast Club and somebody asked him
Right.
about Dame and Bean saying that um, Jay wrote most of your rhymes, and he he was like instead of just categorically denying
Right.
Jay Z didn't write uh, any of my rhymes besides
Yeah.
Coming of Age and Coming of Age
He,
Part Two.
he mentioned that.
He was dancing around the topic.
Right. Well, I see. I never heard about Jay ghostwriting for him back then either. So I don't know when like who started that. You know, my issue was it's like if Jay had to put a song on his on Bleak's album for it to sell, it's like what does that say about Bleak? Because he wasn't doing that with all the other artists.
To me, what's more confounding is that he did the same thing on Bean's album. I think it was
Yeah.
The Truth with
Yeah,
anything.
he put anything as a bonus track.
To me,
I mean,
that's
but
more confounding because
anything.
Bean is a great artist.
Right. I mean, but anything. I mean, anything was a dope track. It wasn't like no big hit single from. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't understand why he did that anyway. I'm like, you could have put anything on a soundtrack or something, on Streets is Watching or something like that. You know?
But I think from the I think Jay Z did Bleak no. He did him a huge disservice by saying Bleak is the new and improved Jay Z.
Yeah, hell no. And Bleak, from what I'm hearing, he told Young Guru that Bleak used to babysit Jay's nephew, and he used to get like paid $100. That's how they really linked up, because he was babysitting Jay's nephew and he was getting paid every week. And I think I don't know if Jay knew that he could rap, and that's really how they linked up or whatever. And I feel like that's why Jay is so loyal to him because he looked out for his nephews. You know,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
I'm like, come
I
on,
mean,
like,
I mean, at some point, it's like you have to get to a point where you have to do. It's almost like you have to pay it forward. Like, how many times are you going to live off? You know, uh, Jay. Jay used to live on the same floor as your mom, and
right,
you know, and her and Jay Z's mom babysitted you. It's like,
yeah.
dude, you're almost 50 years old, bro.
He's saying that he wants to bring back the verses and have Just Blaze against Kanye or some shit. And I'm like, what? Kanye?
I think like like the only verses that Kanye should be concerned about is the verses between him taking his medicine and not taking his medicine.
The verses with himself.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I'm like, come on, man. Like, nobody's doing that. You
and
know? He was talking. Remember, they was talking about that. There was a verses where he wanted to battle Joel Santana. I'm like, Joel's got more heat than you. There's no way.
like, and not only that though. To me, I think um, Joel Santana he has better. Uh, he has way more going for him as an MC than Bleak.
There's no way. I mean, Joel's ain't put out a damn album in forever, but Joel's first two albums is better than anything Bleak got.
I mean, because what's Bleak going to do? Like perform every verse that he ever did with Jay Z?
Right. Let me do my verse from "Is That Your Bitch." Let me do my verse from "Got My Mind Got My Mind Right."
Do his verse from "Do My Ladies
Right.
Runners"?
Yeah. Let me do the "It's All Right" joint. Like, come on. Yeah, who was really tuning in to watch that though? Bleak versus Joel Santana.
That to me, that's like the battle of the little niggas.
I actually
Like,
I missed the Cypress Hill and Onyx versus. I never seen that one because that one was attached to like some like boxing match they had.
yeah, that was like a weird versus. Like it
Yeah,
was behind a
and
paywall.
and it wasn't. That was when they were doing that whole Triller thing, and they wanted you to pay money to see the verses before the boxing match, and I never paid for it, so I never saw that Cypress Hill and Onyx matchup.
To me, I would have rather seen Cypress Hill versus Naughty by Nature.
Yeah, that would have been better. You know.
But considering just how much versus is pretty much dead in the water,
Yeah.
I could see Timberland's like the way Timberland is moving
Hmm.
with the AI thing. I
Yeah.
think like he just goes from uh, uh, business venture to business venture without sustained success. Like as soon as he has success, he drops what he's doing from there and then goes on to something else. Like
Yeah.
imagine by now, like they could be like a versus TV show
Yeah.
or a versus miniseries
Oh
or
God.
a verse or like he could have kept that going but just in different
The,
iterations.
the, the thing is, I thought they would have expanded the verses to like other genres so that it would be like a wider audience, and they never did that. They end up just selling they say that they have it back, but it's like when are they really dropping another verses? I don't even think they're gonna do that.
Well, number one, like I think even if they do start up versus again, to me, it's been gone so long.
Hmm.
I think people have moved on.
Right.
Like people aren't going to go back looking at their IG lives
Right.
now because there's so many things that supplanted. Versus
Unless we have another pandemic and the world shuts down again, that's the only way I can see it coming back.
there's people like there's people that would rather be on Twitter Spaces than look at a versus on
Yeah.
IG.
Unless that happens again, that's the only way I can see it coming back. But it's like at this point, it's like I don't think people care no more for that.
And I think to a certain extent, I think there's I think there are people that can improve on what versus started.
Yeah,
Like I don't think Tim and Swiss Beats should have the patent on having a battle of artists
facts.
their catalog against the other's catalog. I think there's people that can improve on what they started
Mm-hmm. Facts.
and make it even more user friendly for for viewers. Have better sound, have better have you know artists in other genres do it,
Yeah.
or have like a battle of the bands but versus style.
The Hornets traded Mark Williams to the Suns for some draft picks. Interesting. So the Suns got Mark Williams and they got Nurkic.
What was the what round was the draft picks?
I forgot the round. It's like some later rounds or whatever they got from it.
Oh, I see.
So Suns got two centers. Do they keep both or they trading one of them?
Well, I doubt they're going to keep both centers.
I think the Lakers were trying to get Mark Williams, but the Lakers ain't got nobody that teams want. You know,
And also, like the Lakers were in the middle of a sale of their team.
right? They don't. Yeah, that's another thing. So they needed a big man, but who do they have that's tradable other than LeBron and Luca? You know, they got to try to re-sign what's the white kid name? I forgot his name. Austin Reeves. They got to re-sign him. Other than that, who you got on that bench? I think they I don't see them going anywhere next season. I don't know. People still think that they got these championship aspirations. I'm like, look at the Lakers roster right now. Like, where are they going? Who are they beating?
But the Lakers have a small lineup.
Like,
Like number one, they're small. Like they're slow. They're not going to be able to keep up in scoring pace.
exactly. So it's like all this talk about Luca actually working out this summer, and even with them working out, it's not gonna make a difference because they team is not championship ready right now.
Hmm.
You know, I think for them they got the new owners got to look at it like, yo, like we got to build around Luca now. Like LeBron is another aging superstar that they got to move away from LeBron and start building around Luca. You know,
And like Luca, like he's only going to get worse on defense. Like he's in his prime and he can't play defense. So just imagine as he gets
right?
further into
Maybe,
his
maybe,
career.
maybe with him working out now, and maybe he'll be more committed to playing defense. You know,
I mean they can try, but we can't teach an old dog new tricks.
right?
He's settled into being who he is.
Facts. Definitely, I definitely agree with that. You know, but I mean the draft. I don't even know who's expected to go in the second night, but the first night, we had some good picks. I think some teams definitely upgraded, like San Antonio and Charlotte and Dallas, and it's gonna be interesting to see like who's gonna be the rookie of the year in this class.
Yeah, I can definitely. Uh, oh my God, another thing.
Uh-huh.
I just thought of something.
Yeah.
whatever, like uh, during this off season, like what happens to Bronny?
Yeah, I don't. That's a good question because I don't know what they're gonna do with him. Like, does he? To me, he should be in the G League for like a good 2 years. But I feel like as long as LeBron there, he gonna make sure that he on the bench, but he ain't getting no playing time. So what do you do? You know?
Yeah, and like at this, and I think um, the general manager, he's going to be like, look,
Mm,
Bronny's taking up a roster spot,
right.
like hey
He is.
LeBron, like you play, you realize your dream
Right.
of playing with your son in the NBA, but we got to move on. Like he can, like he may play in the NBA, but he's not going to play for our team.
Right. I don't know. I feel like they need to be building their own nucleus with Luca and Bronny. You know, like how Dallas is building their nucleus right now, and Lakers need to be building like Austin. We got Austin Reeves. We got to resign him. We got Bronny. We got to develop him. We got Luca. He's our future, and it's time to move away from LeBron. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like as long as LeBron is there, they're gonna cater to LeBron, and that's really what's stopping them from developing and building a younger team. Again, you have another aging star that's calling the shots, and same thing with Durant. You know, you got to be at some point. These dudes got to be like, yo, they you won your titles, you got your MVP accolades and all that. They got to be in a mentoring state now where they can develop the young talent around them. Because if they still thinking that they're gonna be dominating the league at 37, 38, they in for a rude awakening. Shea Gillis already showed people like, yo, OKC is the new team to beat. They all young. That's where the league is heading. It's heading towards the younger teams, and you know when you have KD and LeBron that's on their last leg, and they still want to be the man. It's like I don't expect them to win anything.
And also, uh, I'm looking like LeBron James is 40 years old. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he retired at 42. So now, like, it's like a prop bet. Like,
Right.
how much longer can LeBron James play?
Exactly.
And and LeBron is so competitive. He just might be like, you know what? I'm gonna break the record
See?
for the oldest uh,
That's the
player
record you going for.
in the league.
I want to be 45 and still playing NBA ball
right?
with
Like,
an a balding hairline and shit.
I mean, by then he's gonna have nothing but grace.
Right. You know, I feel like if anybody should have gotten traded, it should have been him at the deadline. He should have gotten traded to a team that's looking to win because Lakers is not that team. They're not winning anything. So it's like the Durant thing. You know, I don't really know why. I mean, Durant wanted out because I'm like Phoenix wasn't going over there. You know, him with Houston, I don't see how he makes them better. But it's more like I said, it's more of they still look at the name KD and it's more of it's they living off of his legacy basically. It's not what he could do for them. I'm like, because yeah, he can give you 27 meaningless points, but is that gonna have them beat OKC?
And like LeBron, like to me, is like LeBron's trade value is the highest that it's ever going to be.
Right.
So the Lakers could have traded LeBron, got some
Yeah.
draft picks in return, and build their
That
team for the future.
that really he should have gotten traded at the deadline in February to somebody that was ready to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't understand. Like, the only thing I could see is if he's staying is because of he loves California and you know he's looking to do like movie stuff. But other than that, that team is far from ready to beat OKC or Minnesota. And they'd be lucky if they even got into the playing tournament. You know. So
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know why he's not staying for the money. So why else are you staying with the Lakers? But to watch your son on the bench because they're not playing him. You know.
And also, I think um, moving LeBron James, it would have freed up. It would have been two pronged. Number one, it would have been a way to get younger, and also just to clear the energy, like like just to, like because uh, when Bronny was playing, LeBron always felt the need to defend his son, and it just made things even more tense and even more awkward.
Yeah.
You can just remove that awkwardness from the entire picture
Right.
by just moving LeBron.
Yeah. I don't understand. I feel like at some point Lakers got to cut bait. Well, not maybe now with them selling the team. Maybe new ownership gonna look at that like, yo, we gotta trade LeBron somewhere and really start to make our team younger. You know, and I would love LeBron on the Knicks, but I'm not willing to give up half the damn team for LeBron. Just like I don't want them to trade half the damn team for Giannis. Like if we could get Giannis for like maybe we trade Bridges and Mitch, I would be happy. But I'm not dismantling half the team for Giannis. Because Milwaukee gonna want a lot for him, and there's not every team in the league have the draft picks and the players for Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? And I keep hearing New York. I'm like, if the Knicks, if we can just trade two players, that'd be great. But I don't want to trade half the damn team for Giannis. I
Yeah,
still want us to be able to compete for a championship. If we trade half the team just to get Giannis, we're not competing because we ain't have no team. But if we can spare, Bridges, they keep throwing in Cat. I don't want to. I don't even want to trade Cat. I'm like, because who's gonna play the five? If y'all not gonna resign Mitch and we trade Cat for Giannis, who's playing the 4 and 5? So I'd rather keep Cat. You know what I'm saying? But if we could if we could trade McBride and maybe Bridges and throw Mitch in there for Giannis, then I'll definitely be happy for that. But I don't want them to make no hasty moves and dismantle our team for no superstar.
yeah, and also like I think the uh, the time for super teams is over.
Yeah, that's
I think what
hmm
OKC has proven is that good drafting and good team chemistry
hmm
is what wins
exactly.
championships.
Exactly. And it's like it's cool like if you have one superstar among other role players and good draft picks. I think that's the way to go now. If you look at Indiana's team, like they got Pascal Siakam. Siakam got a ring with Toronto, and he was like their star, and he really played the back for Halliburton. In the postseason, but Indiana have a good balanced team of players that are role players and good draft picks, and they made some trades, and those players are coming into their own now. That's what I want the Knicks to do with their bench. We got to develop our young talent on the bench. Maybe we pick up a scorer, in the backcourt with. I would love for them to go after Dante again. There was rumors about them trying to get back Dante from Minnesota. I would love for them to get him back because he never really should have gotten traded anyway. There's one thing you all traded Randall. Randall did his service for us. He was good, but I really didn't want Dante to get traded in that deal. But I would love for him and Brunson to reunite. But we gotta strengthen our bench, and I need to see Bridges step up. I don't want them giving Bridges that extension if he's gonna play like crap like he did last season because he was very inconsistent. And the thing is, when I saw him in Brooklyn, he was their main guy and he was putting up big numbers. I'm like, well, what happened? You come to a better team and You can't be the third scorer for us. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like we need that third scorer when Brunson and Cat is having an off night, and he didn't step up. And if you want to get paid 152 million dollars, you got to be the third scorer for us. You know, I'm not ready to give him that extension, and he having like inconsistency. You know,
yeah. Did you hear? Did you hear about the fan that was banned from all Major League Baseball stadiums after uh, saying some disrespectful things about the player's mother that passed
oh
away?
shit. Nah, when was that?
This was like today.
I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah,
Well, he said this on what was it, on Twitter or something like that.
no, it was a 22-year-old fan that uh, it was it was a Vadam, it was a player named Ketel Martez. He plays for the Diamondbacks, and it was a White Sox fan that was, uh, I guess, heckling uh, the Diamondbacks player, and the player was, of course, angered and very emotional, and the league uh, said that that fan was banned from all stadiums.
Wow, that's crazy. So he's banned for life.
Yeah,
That's wild.
man, I can't even imagine what he was going through.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, cause like man, there are some people,
That's crazy.
man, I couldn't imagine that kind of
Mhm.
pain.
Right.
But I will say this, man, like that dude only said that because he was safe in the stands, but he would never say that to his face.
I mean, that's pretty much how it is with these fans, especially the fans that get drunk at these baseball games and they just blood out all kind of crap, and or they want to run for a foul ball, and then they fall over in the chair and all that, and that's usually how it is. They just get into it with the players. I think it happens. I'm seeing it more often in baseball than in basketball and football.
I think the league should have given the Diamondbacks player an option. Like, do you have the option to whip his ass if you want? Like you could have like 5 minutes with him and just uh have at him.
Facts, definitely.
Like,
You know
like,
what I'm
like some
saying?
players just need their asses whooped.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna take that bold decision to call out a player's dead mother and all that, and if whatever he do to you is like that's what it is. But that don't have nothing to do with the game. It's different if you heckling him because he's been playing like crap or he's in a slump. But you getting personal and calling out people's mothers and all that, it's like, hey, you can't blame them. I would have did the same shit. You know?
Yeah, that's to me that's wild. Like I I think there's like when it comes to heckling and booing, there's some things that are inbounds, but like imagine if that Diamondbacks player would have charged into the stands and did like and pulled like a, a Steven Jackson. Like remember when Steven Jackson went into the stands at the Malice in the
Yeah,
Palace
that's true.
with
That's true.
people's asses?
Yeah,
Like you don't know what that could have triggered.
that's true. Yeah, and I think it's the beer. They got to stop serving beer at these games, yo, because the liquor is making these fans feel like they brave enough to talk shit to the players, and do all kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think I also think there are some fans that they drink before they get to the game. So
Yeah,
by the time, by the time they, buy drinks at the concession stand, if they've had a few.
right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and you got kids there. I've seen parents that they're holding their baby in one hand, they got a beer in the other, and then when the ball comes to them, they drop in the beer and literally almost drop their kid just for the ball. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro,
Yeah,
it's not that serious. It's a foul ball. Like you're willing to drop your kid just for a foul ball? You know what I'm saying? Like what?
that
And you're on camera because they're gonna show the replay. They're gonna show the replay of you dropping your beer just to catch the foul ball. You end up not catching the foul ball anyway, and then you almost drop your baby.
and that's when child protect child protective services, should take those kids away from his custody because clearly your decision making is not in the best interest of your kid.
Yeah, that's just crazy. Like I seen it was last week where like the white guy had his daughter like sitting on top of his lap, and she have her eyes like she have her hands over his eyes, and the foul ball is coming, and he managed to get the foul ball, but she was covering his eyes. Now what if he had missed that ball and ended up hitting up, or
Man,
he ended up dropping her for the foul? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, like these fans got to stop doing. They need to put a rule in place at these games where do not put your kid on top of your shoulders and there's a foul ball coming to you. Because if you drop your kid, they shouldn't be responsible.
and like you said, if that foul ball hits that kid
Yeah,
right flush in the face,
exactly. Or it could have hit him and he dropped her. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, like for a foul ball, it ain't that serious. And I don't know, man. It's just I'm seeing it too often in baseball right now, and they gotta and they're not gonna put a rule in until somebody's kid get hurt. That's when they're gonna put the rule in.
and also the Major League Baseball may want to get on top of that because it would decrease their liability. You know, like like a kid dies on their property, you know, and then that father is going to like file a class. He's going to file a lawsuit against the stadium or the
Exactly.
team.
You can't blame Major League Baseball for your bad parenting skills. That shouldn't be on them. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying is like they probably not gonna put a rule in place until unfortunately some kid gets injured, and that's when they're gonna say, well, you know what? No more having holding your kids in one hand and your beer in the other hand, and then you going for a foul ball. Because if that happens, then we gotta kick you out of the game.
Yeah, especially toddlers. I think toddlers shouldn't be at uh, games just because not even if it was complete, even if not even just for the fly balls, but just because there's
Right.
so many unruly fans that are in uh, stands. You have a lot of unruly,
Hmm.
drunken fans that are
Exactly.
surrounding that kid.
Yep.
And if there's a fight that erupts, now the kid
Exactly.
is in danger.
That's another thing. Have you seen the Dodger fans and how they act when it comes to the Giants or the Padres? They can't stand each other.
Yeah, it's pretty much like the Hatfields and the McCoys.
Right. It's like all out war. So it's like I just think like baseball gotta implement some fan rules because it's just getting out of hand now. You know,
No doubt.
I think Ray is asleep right now. You know, it's this is. I mean, we went to our normal time, like 3 hours, close to 4 hours.
And usually it's me that either fall asleep or my
Right,
or my phone
right.
dies. because
And,
that's how I
and
was like the last two times. Like I was using my phone,
yeah,
but my phone battery had died. This time I got my computer back up.
this was definitely fun. Shout out to everybody that stayed to watch us for 3 hours, and people that came through. Red, shout out to him, and Sam and Ray Sean, Kenny Mack. I tried to get Uncle Freezy on here, but he had a bad thunderstorm where he's at, I think South Carolina, and so they power went out.
Yeah, man, hope
You know,
hope people
yeah,
where he's at is safe and they have shelter, and hopefully
yeah,
electricity will be restored down there.
yeah, definitely. 'Cause I had sent them the link, but I didn't even know they had if they having bad thunderstorms, that means that shit gonna come up here too at some point. So I know it's supposed to rain on the weekend. I'm supposed to be going to Rock the Bells on Saturday. Uh,
Hmm.
hopefully I get
You
the
gotta
tickets on
go, bro.
time. Huh?
Yeah, you gotta go. Like I said, go for me, bro. I can't. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
said,
yeah.
I can't make
Well,
it.
they finally contacted me this yesterday morning about the tickets because I didn't hear from them the whole week, and I was like, what's going on? And supposedly they're sending me the tickets on Friday, so hopefully I get it in time and I'll be out there on Saturday. I know Dame is coming up on he's leaving Friday to come up for the show as well.
Yeah, him and what's his name? Gonna
And
be up
shit.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I want to link up with them before he leave.
yeah,
You
man.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Yeah, it's gonna
Oh
be
yeah,
crazy.
definitely. The lineup is crazy. It'll be my first Rock the Bells. I've only seen it like online, so I'm like to actually be there for Rock the Bells it's gonna be great. I definitely want to like do some live streams out there and stuff. I'm gonna try to at least.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. But
That's gonna be
this
crazy.
has definitely been fun. Rocker, tell the people what you got coming up.
Oh yeah, well you can find me on the IG at RAKABASH. Um, right now I'm just uh, I got some. I got something that I'm working on. It doesn't necessarily have to do with uh, with podcasting per se, but it's something offline. I've been working towards that for a couple of weeks, so keeping my fingers crossed. And I've always had a good time when I'm talking hip hop with you and Ray, and salute to Ray for everything Ray's doing. As far as
No
chronicling
doubt.
hip hop in
That's what it's about,
Jersey
man.
and
Yeah,
with the Respect the Legacy series.
definitely. Ray, what you got coming up? Let the people know.
Oh yeah, this fall official release of the You Gotta Respect the Legends of Hip Hop Legacy series. This fall official release. Um, Live screenings and of course, um, on streaming platforms. You Gotta Respect the Legends series featured the
Yeah, that, definitely going to be looking forward to that Verse Gods series. You know, for sure. Mark Nash, salute. We about to end this live. We had a great 3 hours of talking about the NBA draft and talking about Jim Jones and Nas, and we got into some Rockefeller talk and Murder Inc. But definitely stay tuned. I definitely got some stuff dropping. Like I said, like I'm gonna be at Rock the Bells hopefully this weekend. I'm gonna take some video footage out there and upload it to the channel, and it's gonna be fun. Hopefully, they send the tickets on time and there's no problems. I'm definitely gonna be out there and we just gonna have a ball, man. But we definitely gonna be back next week. And same time, 8 p.m. Wednesday nights. Subscribe, like, comment, share. And we out.
Peace.
Peace. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yes.